And NSFAS students are promised money will stay intact. Good morning, I'm Sviso Zulu. The Constitutional Court will this morning hear two applications by the Board of Health Care Funders and the Western Cape government seeking to have the National Health Insurance Act declared unlawful. The applicants are arguing that both houses of parliament failed to comply with constitutional requirements for meaningful public participation before passing the NHI bill. President Cyril Ramaphosa signed it into law in 2024, but its proclamation has been delayed pending the outcome of the legal challenge. Dimakaso Lishoro takes a look.
The NHI Act seeks to fundamentally overhaul the country's healthcare system, creating a single fund, the NHI Fund, an autonomous body which will purchase healthcare services from public and private providers. This will prevent private hospitals from setting their own fees for services provided and limit the role of medical aid schemes. At the heart of the case is whether Parliament's process met constitutional requirements for public participation prior to the bill being passed and whether the law should be set aside. However, Parliament will argue that the Constitutional Court lacks jurisdiction over the matter, saying the applicants have failed to plead a case that triggers the Concord jurisdiction. Dimakaso Lishoro, Eyewitness News.
Higher Education Minister Buti Manamela has vowed that placing NSFAS under administration will not affect student funding. Manamela also announced yesterday that the embattled Financial Aid Schemes Board has been dissolved following a series of resignations and an ongoing governance crisis. He says placing NSFAS under administration is necessary for now.
The administration is not intended to disrupt NSFAS operation. Let me state this clearly. Student funding will continue.
Alpha Ramushwana takes a look at how NSFAS has been placed on administration before.
In 2018, NSFAS was placed under administration for the first time following years of financial difficulties and governance failures. In 2024, its board was once again dissolved and the institution placed under administration for similar reasons. A new board was appointed in February last year, but it has now also been dissolved with NSFAS once again placed under administration. Higher Education Minister Buti Manamela says it is becoming unsustainable for NSFAS to continue grappling with governance challenges. Professor Hlengani Mathebula has been appointed as the administrator of NSFAS in an effort to stabilize the institution. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
A new witness is expected to take the stand at the Madan Commission of Inquiry today. The commission has not yet confirmed the identity of the witness, who is expected to give evidence on police corruption. Yesterday, a crime intelligence officer known as Witness G testified entirely in camera due to safety concerns. Commission spokesperson Jeremy Michaels said that while parts of the witness's testimony were intended to be public, it became impractical to continue in open proceedings.
I think it was patently clear from what we've witnessed over the last couple of hours since proceedings started this morning. It is very clear that it is impractical to proceed, as Justice Madlanga was saying, in the fashion that we have.
And Iran and the US have traded fire over the Strait of Hormuz nearly a month after a fragile ceasefire. The United Arab Emirates has also accused Iran of attacking the country with missiles and drones, setting an oil refinery ablaze and injuring 3 Indian nationals. The renewed attacks yesterday came after US President Donald Trump announced an operation to escort trapped vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran military officials have not denied the fresh strikes, but they say there were no premeditated plans to attack the UAE. US forces say that they destroyed 6 Iranian boats and shot down missiles and drones fired at US Navy and commercial vessels by Tehran's military. But Tehran has denied its boats were destroyed, saying the US strikes killed 5 civilians on boats carrying goods. Gold is trading at $4,535.63 an ounce. The rand is at 16.81 to the dollar, 22.73 to the pound, 19.64 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $113.23 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident on the N3 North that happened near Van Buren Road. It's causing heavy delays coming out of the Airlines interchange. There's also queuing traffic already on the Maikwan North between Boyson's Road and Carr Street.
And in your sport, Man City dropped points at Everton to hand advantage to Arsenal in the Premier League title race, while Nottingham Forest continue their strong performances ahead of the Europa League semi-final second leg against Villa Thursday. And Proteas duo Bosch and Rickleton star as Mumbai pick up a victory in the IPL.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers. Johannesburg starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 18. Pretoria 12 and 21. Vereniging 10 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The Constitutional Court will this morning hear two applications by the Board of Healthcare Funders and the Western Cape Government seeking to have the National Health Insurance Act declared unlawful.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie, walk the talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock. It is a Tuesday morning. It's the 5th of May, the year of our Lord 2026. Here's a question. How good are you at murder mysteries? Figuring out who done it. Whether you're reading a book, watching a series, and you don't know, is it the mother? Is it the mother-in-law? Oh, it's the dad, isn't it? It's the son. It's the wife. It's the wife. It's the neighbor. No, it's the neighbor. It's grandmother. It's the grandmother. Do you always know who done it? You pride yourself in figuring it out. You're one of those people who has attended, say, dinner parties where you play murder mysteries. We're going to give you the latest information on those passengers trapped on a luxury cruise liner in the middle of the Atlantic. And everybody is looking at everybody else on board and they're trying to figure out who has the Hunter virus. Yes, it is rarely transmitted between humans, but the World Health Organization isn't ruling out that scenario in this case. Nothing for you and I in South Africa to panic about. But can you imagine? Can you imagine? The price of fuel just shot up once more. It does seem as if the Iranians and the Americans have exchanged fire in the Persian Gulf. There's this prevailing view in the West that, we're almost near the finish line. It's just dotting some I's, crossing some T's. The prevailing view in the East, in the Pacific region, leaders in Australia and Singapore is this ain't near over. And even if it is, you and I are going to feel the pinch for some time to come.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
And what on earth is unfolding at NSFAS? You remember last week, of course, the board, such as it was, tried to appoint a permanent CEO after somebody had been in an acting capacity for quite some time. And then it appeared there was some conflict amongst the board members as to who should be appointed to lead NSFAS. There was a candidate that it would appear favored or was favored or may have been favored by the minister, and another who was not. Then some board members resigned. And the speculation was this was meant to trigger a crisis because then they wouldn't have a quorum. The remaining board members say they got a legal opinion that said no, they could still quorate if a number of them were present with a specified number of executives. And so they went on ahead and they appointed somebody. And the minister has now placed it all under administration. It's the third time since 2018. This is such a crucial institution. The Business Day says if you wanted proof of cadre deployment being alive and well today, look no further than this debacle, because that's what it boils down to. The minister would contend, hang on, the Auditor General has flagged some really, really serious governance issues. And so the question then becomes, what has been going on then since 2018? Why haven't you fixed this? The students who are sitting, you know what they say about when elephants fight? It's the grass that suffers. It's the ants that get trampled. That's exactly what's unfolding with NSFAS.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9
10
a.m.
after 6, as always, of course, there's an entire team behind the scenes putting the program together. But the voices you most often hear are those of Mutewa Hwaripe and Amo Ramila, who are in the studio with me this very morning. Amo, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongs, and morning 702 landers.
How do I look?
You look good.
Normal?
Mm-hmm.
You know why I ask?
Mm-hmm.
I got dressed in the dark. I only figured out when I got to work this morning in the lift
Yeah.
that I hadn't brushed my hair. So if you're watching me on YouTube and you're thinking, gosh, he's looking a little untidy, disheveled.
Nah, you don't look untidy at all. I would have told you first thing if I saw you.
We had no power in my neighborhood and on my street in particular. So the cable snapped right outside my yard. And so they've dug a trench. They dug one 3 weeks ago, but you know, Sikolapa, right including Mutewa, right up in front of my gate. So this morning I had two problems to think about. One, whether there was still enough battery power in my gate and whether it would open or not. It did. So that was problem one solved. And whether or not they had closed the trench they dug up yesterday to try and connect whichever pipes they need to. They did close it temporarily, but I could feel a as I drove out of my yard this morning, but we had no power, and I mean, of course, eventually the backup power runs out as well. So I dressed in the dark this morning, and that's why I look as I do. Muteo, you couldn't tell, could you?
No, I couldn't tell at all.
So is this what I look like every day? Even when I think I've made an effort.
I think you're really overthinking it because you know you got dressed in the dark.
So anyway, yeah, it was a double whammy. There was no water yesterday afternoon. The water did come back, I must say. And shame the chaps from City Power were really, really, patient and explaining. And they were really nice about, can we dig in front of your gate? I said, well, that side of the gate is yours. I can only talk and protest about what's on my side of the gate. And they said, oh, thank you for understanding. So many people give us a hard time. And I said, hey, my guy, I want the power back, hey? I'm not here to dictate to you how you do it, but I want the power back. So, that question, that shout out, Amo Muteo, how good are you at figuring out who done it? Do you sit there and are you one of those where my daughter will often say to me, how did you know? How did you know? I'm like, I don't know, it's a guess.
But doesn't that spoil your... If you're watching a movie or a series, doesn't that spoil you watching the movie if it is that you can find out who did it? Because for me, the mystery keeps me watching. I
don't know. I'm guessing.
Guessy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm guessing. I'm thinking
So
it is
1
likely.
+ 1, yeah.
But I don't know. Part of the fun is thinking I know and then going and then changing my mind and then being doubtful and then thinking, no, man, I was right the first time. It is Muteo.
Then there's another twist.
Hom Shebile. You just look at him and you know it's him. Right? Muteo, how good are you?
No, I'm terrible. And I know I'm terrible because when I watch movies like Death on the Orient Express or Murder on the Nile.
Agatha Christie fan, are we?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Because I always get it wrong. I always get it wrong.
Right?
Who's the detective? Hercule Poirot. Never get it right.
Inspector Clouseau.
Never get it right.
Are you somebody who watches those Hitchcock movies, who's read Agatha Christie, and you've tried to figure it out? So I grew up on a diet of the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, the Famous Five, the Secret Seven, and it was all about figuring out who had done something or solving some kind of mystery. How good are you? Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Our big interview focuses, of course, on what's still unfolding in the Persian Gulf. You'll know the price of fuel has gone up as of midnight. Petrol set to rise to at least by 3 Rand 27 a litre. Diesel has gone up by 6 Rand 19 per litre. These hikes, of course, are driven by the global oil price increases and a weaker rand, but also the fact that there's so much uncertainty about what happens next. Muteo, do you remember when I was speculating and you and I did some number crunching trying to figure out, based on the price of gasoline in Texas, was just 3-4 weeks ago, right? And we worked it out that the rand equivalent was near $40 a litre for diesel, right? Well, we're getting close to there.
Yeah,
Inland is now around 32, right?
32 rand a
Yeah,
litre,
32
yeah.
and some change inland. So we're getting close to
Yeah.
there. And it all has to do with what's unfolding in the Persian Gulf. Now, the prevailing view, if you watch a lot of Western media, is that we're near the finish line. You know, there's a 14-point plan that's been proposed by Iran. Trump sent J.D. Vance and they're going to negotiate and we're almost there. Trump would have you believe these guys are begging for a deal. But I want you to listen to somebody who knows the region really, really well and who has, of course, impacted by what's unfolding in the Gulf. This is the Prime Minister of Singapore, Lawrence Wong, delivering a keynote speech at a May Day rally that this thing is not going away anytime soon.
The Strait of Hormuz has been closed for more than 2 months. The impact is being felt not just in higher prices, but also in tightening supply. And here in Asia, we are especially affected because of our high dependence on energy and other critical supplies from the Gulf. Some countries in our region are already facing fuel shortages. Airlines have cut flights. Factories are reporting delays. And the disruptions will not stop at energy. Fertilizer, food, and other essential inputs will be hit next. We can expect shortages in more items to emerge. Even when the strait reopens, it will not be an immediate return to normal. So we should not expect this crisis to be over anytime soon. In fact, the pressures are likely to intensify.
Right? Telling it like it is. Don't expect this crisis to be over anytime soon. And even if you open the Strait of Hormuz today, the pressure from what has been unfolding already is likely to have an impact on us, on all of us, for some time to come.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Mateo Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, and it's around that particular fuel issue. We already know that fuel prices are going up. So what I want to know this morning, what levers or rules are you putting in place now that you see things are going bad in order to use your fuel more efficiently? Are you saying if you were not told about an event, you're not going?
No shame.
No last minutes?
No last minute trips. And I try and do a lot of things together. So the other day, I had to go get dog food. I had to go to do my dry cleaning. I had to also go collect a new license disc.
Yeah.
I try and do all of those things in one go. And I try and make sure that where all those errands must be run are all from one place. So I'm no longer choosing a shopping center based on whether it's got this or that. It's whether how many of the things I need to tick off my list are in that one place so that it's one commute versus going, hopping around. So that's one consideration. It also raises another question for me, though.
Yeah.
Is it time for us to consider hybrid working again, or at least working from home like we did during COVID-19?
Yeah.
I mean, I know many managers and bosses want everybody back at the office, right? And many people are protesting from what I hear out there. It doesn't apply to us. We're always here.
Yeah.
We tried that work from home thing.
It didn't work.
Do you remember when Babushka was barking?
It was part of the show.
And then I was trying to call Auntie to get rid of the dog. And I thought I'd switched off the mic. And I'm going, Auntie! It was just a disaster. It doesn't work for us, right? But is it time for those who can to go back to working from home? Is it time for us to consider?
The corporates will tell you that leasing the building is expensive. So having warm bodies in the building makes them feel better.
And that's one of the things that you could do to answer Mateo's question. How are you mitigating against the rising fuel costs?
702.
Weather.
20 after 6, a cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Widespread showers are expected. Temperature is much lower than yesterday. 18 degrees is your high in Johannesburg, 19 in Vereeniging, and it's 21 in Pretoria. Cape Town, cloudy day, maxing 17 degrees. In Mbombela, a lovely 26. Bloemfontein and Mahikeng both peaking at 20. Durban, again, partly cloudy at first, otherwise cloudy with widespread showers and thunder showers. Your maximum there will be 24. Gqeberha, 18. East London, 19. Kimberley, 17.
EWN Traffic.
20 after 6, our first look at the roads. This EWN traffic brought to you by GWM, class-leading vehicles that help you navigate your journey. Amma, what are you seeing?
Well, Bongani, we've got hectic delays on the N3 North. This is between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. An accident reported right near Van Buren. And then on the same route, we've got roadworks that are taking place. So please do expect about a 20-minute hold-up there and approach with care. If you're traveling towards Bedford View via the N12 West, delays between Edenville Road and the Gidulis Interchange, peak time delays there. And then in Protea Glen, more delays on Main Road just as you approach Wild Chestnut Road. This is due to an accident there. Please be on the lookout there and approach with care. I'll have more traffic updates coming up, but if you come across anything else, we're still on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Ever since fuel went up, you've had to endure a lot. Like helping your mom run errands while she tries to help you with your love life.
Hi, Bo. Kanti, when are you and Sfiso getting married? Pella, I want grandchildren.
Don't let the fuel hike put you under pressure. Get 5,000 Rand towards your fuel when you buy a Haval or P-Series this month. Visit gwm.co.za or your nearest dealer to book a test drive. GWM. Go with more.
The Clement Manyathela Show will be coming to you live from the Trialogue Business in Society Conference tomorrow. This thought leadership gathering of corporates, government and NPOs is proudly supported by 702 and Prime Media Cares.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Good morning, 702 Lab. Good morning, Bongani and team. It's Seppa from Protea Glen. I must say I'm quite good with solving mysteries. I don't know if it's maybe they're quite predictable or I just find it easy to figure out who's what and what's happening. So yeah, I enjoy kind of mystery.
Morning, Bongani. It's Oloitu here from Alberton, driving to work. I'm so horrible with figuring out or guessing. I remember I just recently watched this series on Netflix, His and Hers. The twist, the plot twist in the end, I did not even think that it could be the mom. Honestly, but it's amazing to watch. Just the figuring out and thinking, is it this one or is it that one? It's what really keeps me watching the series. Thank you. Bye.
Morning, Bongani. Bongani, figuring out what is going to happen at the end. I'm blind now, Bongani. I became blind 3 years ago. And since then, Bongani, I'll watch a movie with you. I will tell you what's going to transpire at the end. Yeah, I'm excelling in that. Morning, Bongani.
Yeah, gosh, because the thing about losing one of your senses is how much sharper the rest become. I've spoken about going to that blind evening where we were invited with corporate leaders. It was part of Corporate That Cares. And we were in a completely blind environment. We're in a darkened room. You couldn't even see your hands. And we had a 3-course dinner, enjoying dinner in the dark, and all the waiters were blind, and we were the outsiders in their world, and they took our orders, not a glitch, not a scratch, nothing was dropped, and we were just astonished to exist in a world that we were completely unfamiliar with and completely at their mercy and their guidance, and that was the point. Wasn't it? Yeah, and I suppose radio becomes a very good friend of yours when you lose your eyesight. That's certainly something that is true. How good are you at solving mysteries?
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
24 minutes after 6 o'clock, things you need to know at this hour. By the way, we are, of course, as always, on our YouTube channel. You can watch us there on our YouTube feed. But listen to this. South Africa's largest law firms are challenging the BBEE legal sector code in the Pretoria High Court. They're arguing it's unconstitutional, unlawful, and imposes unrealistic transformation targets. It's a code that requires firms to significantly increase black ownership, management, and participation, and they're given a short period within which to do so. The firms say that is unworkable. The Legal Practice Council, meanwhile, has defended the code as necessary to address long-standing structural inequalities affecting black professionals in the legal sector. You've really got the brightest minds legally who are going to be looking at that case. I'm asking a very simple question. Is it time to go back to working from home? If you are part of a business that's brought everybody back into the office, Mutera will be telling us about the fuel increases. Petrol rising by 3 Rand 27 a litre, diesel 6 Rand 19 a litre. Price hikes, of course, driven by global oil price increases and a weaker rand. Later, we'll be speaking to Vicky Turner. Hopefully, we can get her on the line today. Hey, KG. We got some troubles later. She's standing in for Adam Gilchrist. Mexico City. I mean, it's a fascinating phenomenon for me. It's a sinking city, and it's sinking at a rapid rate of about 25 centimeters per year. And NASA satellite data showing the movement clearly from space. The main cause is excessive groundwater extraction, which is causing the ground on which the city is built to slowly collapse. And the ongoing sinking is damaging key infrastructure like roads, buildings, and water systems. And it raises concerns for one of the most populated cities on Earth and its future stability. Today marks International Day of the Midwife, which has been celebrated since 1991 to honor the role, I should say rather, midwives should play. I don't think they do when it comes to saving lives and supporting maternal and newborn health. It was established by the International Confederation of Midwives to raise awareness and highlight their impact in reducing maternal and infant mortality, and is now observed in over 50 countries every year. I think there's a strong case to be made because traditionally maternity was a midwife domain and doctors were only called in if there was an emergency or something that went wrong. There are too many mothers, I think, were having C-sections, for example, unnecessarily when midwives could take care of the problem. And obviously, it must be done under the controls and the rules and the so on. My daughter was born through the assistance of a midwife. One of the jokes we always make is that she was born in what is now her bedroom and she's lived in it her entire life. And I think there's a case to be made here for how midwives are not given their due. Born on this day in 1988, Adele, the global successful pop phenomenon from London, who rose to fame at 19 with a debut album titled 19.
Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay your fish bare. See, I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do.
All right, it's 28 after 6. Let's roll in the deep with Sifiso Zulu.
702.
The newspapers.
Sifiso Zulu, there you are in the deep
morning.
There. What are you rolling on? What story are you rolling on?
We are rolling in London, in fact, where waste management companies are increasingly turning to robots as they battle to recruit and retrain employees for tough, hazardous recycling jobs. And at one plant in the east of London, with a high staff turnover of around 40% annually, it highlights the strain of working in dusty, noisy, and dangerous conditions where injury rates are far exceeding the national average. So now the firms are testing AI-powered robots to take over sorting duties. And in fact, one machine is still in training and is being taught to identify and pick waste using data from cameras and human demonstrations. But with that concern being raised about job losses, companies say that workers will be retrained to operate and maintain this new technology, shifting them out of harm's way rather than replacing them entirely.
Business Day, fuel price shock ups inflation risk. That'll be the focus of our big interview after 7 o'clock. The Citizen today running with the low risk of the spread of this Hunter virus. Nothing for you and I to panic about here in South Africa. And that's in fact the same story on the front page of the Sowetan. Don't panic, says the Department of Health.
EWN Business.
Don't panic about fuel, right? Mateo wants to know, how are you mitigating the costs of the rising prices? What are you doing, Mateo?
Not going anywhere. And I think that's worked for us. We don't go anywhere much unless we have to.
You weren't going out much before the fuel
because
prices.
We've been cutting, Bongani. That's the point. From last year, we've been told to cut.
You knew this was coming, ne?
Look, I have been
The
saying.
wise sage
I've been
he
saying.
is. Hey, Amo, what prompts the question?
Bongani, there'll be more rands leaving your account at the petrol station from the 6th of May. South African motorists will part with 14% more for petrol and almost 24% more for diesel as the fallout from the Iran war continues to cause pain on the domestic and wider global economy. Now, during the past month, the rand remained relatively stable, but the average price for the global benchmark Brent crude oil rose to $101 from $93. That sharp upward turn triggering the increase. Now, the Department of Mineral and Petroleum Resources says that petrol grades 93 and 95 would rise by 3 Rand 27 cents per litre, which will take the price to 26 Rand 52 a litre. Now, the price increase is just shy of the record peak reached in July of 2022 in the wake of the initial stages of Russia's ongoing war with Ukraine. That price then was 26 Rand 74 per litre, so about 20 cents out. Now, the diesel price will also rise by more than 6 Rand, and then hitting a very, very high price of 32 Rand 9 cents per litre. The prices will come into effect at midnight on the 6th of May, so expect some queues in petrol stations today. There is a few levy relief for consumers, but even then, still pinching away at our wallets.
Your indicators.
The rand 16 Rand 79 against the US dollar, 19 Rand 62 against the euro, and 22 Rand 73 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,533 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,965. Brent crude at $113 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. Swisa Zulu, let's catch up with you. Severe weather warnings, particularly when it comes to KZN. What's the latest?
That's right, Bongani. Well, national routes connecting to KwaZulu-Natal could be affected by disruptive rains today. The South African Weather Service issued alerts over the past few days on heavy downpours. KZN's Cooperative Governance Department spokesperson, Senzole Mzila, has urged travelers to be cautious.
The weather conditions could disrupt major routes such as the N2 and N3. Disaster management teams will be closely monitoring these routes for any incidents.
In the Eastern Cape, police are investigating a case of culpable homicide after 5 people died in a crash. 3 other passengers are being treated in hospital after sustaining injuries when a car lost control and overturned last night on the N10 near Nguba. Officials say the driver, or the car at least, was carrying 8 passengers, and preliminary investigations indicate that it was overloaded. The driver is among the people who were declared dead at the scene. This was the second crash recorded on the province's roads, leading to a total of 12 lives lost within 12 hours. Spokesperson for the Transport Department, Unati Pingose.
We are calling on all motorists to prioritize safety, adhere to capacity limits, and avoid reckless behavior. Law enforcement visibility will be intensified as we work towards preventing further loss of lives on our roads.
IPID Western Cape Deputy Provincial Head Mario September has denied having a relationship with alleged underworld gang boss Nafis Modak. September testified as a witness for Modak's defense about the Police Investigative Directorate's probe into possible involvement by officers in the murder of top cop Charles Kinnear. Modak, who is on trial with 14 others, faces 122 charges, including the murder of Kinnear 6 years ago. September continued with his testimony yesterday in the Western Cape High Court. Carlo Peterson was there.
September told the court he met with Modak 6 times last year, related to IPID's investigation into the murder of top cop Charles Kinnear. September says Modak was also involved in IPID's probe related to Western Cape High Court Judge Daniel Tulari's 2022 ruling about gangs infiltrating police in the province.
Mr. Modak has provided also additional information in my investigation of the Tulari judgment involving the infiltration of gangs in the Western Cape South African Police Service.
A new witness is expected to testify for Modak's defense today. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Austria has expelled 3 Russian diplomats, accusing them of spying. The government says the diplomats used a forest of antennas installed on the roofs of diplomatic buildings to gather information. A report by the Austrian Broadcasting Corporation says the antennas were on the roof of the Russian embassy in Vienna and at a Russian diplomatic compound. The broadcaster says the antennas have long been a thorn in the side of the Austrian intelligence services because they have allowed Russia to intercept data sent via satellite internet by organizations, including international ones. The Russian embassy says it regards this latest move by the Austrian authorities as entirely unjustified, purely political, and unacceptable. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers today. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 18 and 21.
Leaving Soweto this morning could be a bit problematic. We've got heavy traffic volumes along the N1 North. This is between the Soweto Highway and Albertina Sisulu Road. This is due to a major accident seen between the points. Please be on the lookout then. If you're leaving Orlando East, do expect heavier traffic volumes along Cliffsburg Valley Road. This is just as you approach the Soweto Highway due to peak time delays.
The top story this hour, national routes connecting to KwaZulu-Natal could be affected by disruptive rains today.
Part of the 702 family.
My name is Iwet Machinya Tsimbi. I'm from Deep Blue Phase 3. I've listened to 702 since 1980 when it was still Channel 702, when it was still a music radio station. Till today, I still listen to this station. I get the information from this station. I get empowered. I get to be informative. Thank you, 702, and keep on rocking.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
Running a small business means every rand counts. Thanks to My Way Business Insurance, I save up to 20% on my insurance premiums every month for my buckies and tools of trade. Now, I get to save some extra cash for my business and focus on giving my clients world-class service.
Switch to My Way Business Insurance and save up to 20% on your buckies and tools of trade. Real businesses, real savings. Call us on 0860 646464 for a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Standard rates and T's and C's apply.
Hi South Africa, I'm Michael Owen. If you appreciate world-class sport and a great occasion, the Hollywood Bets Durban July is the place to be. The theme for 2026 is Country Allure, which sees the rustic style of the countryside meet the cosmopolitan cool of the city. On Saturday the 4th of July, it all comes together at Hollywood Bets Greyville, Africa's greatest horse racing and social event. I'll see you there.
Looking to upgrade your office furniture this year? Desk & Chair, the direct office furniture manufacturer, has a deal you don't want to miss. Get 5% cash back towards your existing office furniture with all purchases over 350,000 Rand. Contact Desk & Chair now for more info. Visit our newly renovated showroom in Madan or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk & Chair. Think, feel, work better. T's and C's apply.
702's Small Business Focus, powered by Capitec, shines a spotlight on the drive, passion, and dedication behind every successful small business.
The recent stat came out that over 12 billion Rand in overdue invoices are outstanding from government entities across the country, and that's a huge problem for SMEs. And I think you mentioned it already. Let's be clear, this is not only a public sector problem. This very similar problem exists in the private sector. Large corporates are also taking way too long to pay their SME suppliers.
Every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m. Catch the Small Business Focus on 702 and bank on better business banking with Capitec. Capitec is an authorized FSP 46669.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So send us an answer based on anything that piqued your interest during the show, and for that you win $1,000. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Then a little later, someone else will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongles. Unfortunately, the poorest of the poor, who are paying up to, 40% of their disposable income to get to and from work, they are factory floor workers. They cannot work remotely. So even if work from home becomes a reality, you're going to have people starving in South Africa. And next year, when they have to grow the crops and the fertilizers have still not come out of the Strait of Hormuz, the crop price will be increased, the yield will be less. There's economic woes that South Africa has never seen. You're going to have a 1929 depression-style recession. And we've been calling this a technical recession since 2008. And we went into recession those years. And this with all the unemployment and the foreigners that are in this country taking up resources and jobs. You've got a tinderbox ready to explode.
Morning, Bongani. Morning, team. Just listening to the show. It's Joy from Richards Bay. And to answer your question, what am I doing to cut costs? Because of the fuel crisis, I just get my stuff delivered. I know deliveries are a bit expensive, but I'm hearing the license disc thing that you said you had to pick up. You could get that delivered. You can get your groceries delivered. Anything that, maybe the costs add up, but instead of driving around yourself and, running around to different places, that could be an option. Yeah.
Yeah, but consider that if my fuel costs are up, so are the delivery guys. And so each little delivery adds a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. It feels easier to me to go to one central place, make sure that I can tick off as many errands as possible and make it as short a trip as possible and then rush back home. I'm asking the question, Mateo's asking the question, what are you doing to mitigate against the rising fuel costs? And we're also asking, is it time for people to return back home instead of working from the office?
EWN Sport.
All right, 18 minutes to 7. Coming up, of course, on 702, we'll look at one breakthrough idea and how unconventional thinking reshaped the world, delivering better outcomes. This is in our Black Sheep Thinking series, powered by Camisa Asset Management. Invest differently. Camisa Asset Management is a licensed FSP. Well, Anthony Teixeira. I was a very glum person on Monday. Or was it last week? I can't remember now. When Arsenal seemed to be a little bit at sea as far as the Premiership is concerned. Add to that stress, Pirates are in the same boat. They both more or less have the same number of games left. And can either team or both, ideally, win their respective leagues?
Yeah.
Arsenal, their chances just got a little better.
I would say
I'm not going to stand in your way. I'm going to let you tell us, blow by blow, this delicious news.
I will start with saying good morning, Bongani.
Yes.
Pep Guardiola and Man City, they have slipped up in this Premier League title race. Spirited Everton yesterday blitzed that second half as they earned a vital point as it was a 3-3 draw there. It doesn't change anything, though, for leaders Arsenal because they still need to win all of their remaining fixtures. Although what I would say is that it does ease the pressure, specifically going into tonight's game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League semi-final.
Right, because we've got these two big balls in the air.
Yeah, it means come to the Emirates, everybody can be loud. It can be a charged situation. To dream a dream. Here's Pep Guardiola.
It's better the point than don't point, and it would have been better win the game that we needed at the point. So considering the difficulty, the opponent, the incredible aggressive they play, we were there, we composed. The first half was exceptional, and and after that the second they make a step up. We play good process, but not maybe the intention that we had in the first half.
Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest opened up a 6-point gap to the drop zone thanks to a 3-1 victory over Chelsea. While on debut in that encounter for the Chelsea side, Jesse Derry had to be rushed to hospital after clashing heads with opponent Zach Abbott. The Blues confirming he's stable and was simply precautionary. While Fabian Hurtler won't be going anywhere, he signed a new long-term extension with the Amex Stadium to stay with Brighton. They've been a delight this season as they currently lie 8th on the log on 50 points and in the hunt for European football for only the second time in the club's history. In cricket, the Mumbai Indians kept that IPL playoff hopes alive. They picked up a 6-wicket victory over the Lucknow Super Giants, although it was the Proteas Stars who were the stars on the day for the winning side. With the ball, we saw Corbin Bosch take 2 for 20 and then a player of the match performance from Ryan Rickleton, who delighted with an 83-run innings off of just 32 balls. In rugby, former French centre Virimi Vakatawa and England number 8 Nathan Hughes have been handed international revivals. This comes after Fiji named them in an extended 50-player strong squad for the upcoming Nations Championship. The final squad is set to be announced at the start of July. And a 2-time golfing major winner, Colin Morikawa, has decided to take a break a week before the PGA Championship as he looks to end his 28-month win drought. It seemed to work last month to an extent where he took the Texas Open off and then a week later finished 7th at the Masters. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702.
Hello, Uncle Bongani. My name is Tyler. I'm 13 years old. I go to Leonard Ridge Primary School. I want to become a GT3 racer when I grow up, and I'm a little bit nervous but excited to play the Whiz Quiz.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
14 to 7, the EWN traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. What's happening on the N1? Is it the N1 North, Amo?
That's correct.
There's a crash there?
There is an accident.
How bad is it?
It's horrible. It's causing about a 20-minute hold-up between the Soweto Highway and Albertina Sisulu Road. Please be on the lookout there. You can try to use alternative routes, but you'll also be stuck on traffic on the Maikwan North because it is unfortunately peak time hours at this time of the morning. So heading towards the Florida or Rodiport area, do expect that 20-minute hold-up on the N1 North. And then traveling on the N3 North, that accident we spoke about earlier has been cleared, but traffic remains heavily backed up coming out of the Yelands turnoff. Do remember that we've got roadworks there that are causing delays this morning. The M2 East is also affected approaching the Geldenhuys interchange. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Things people stress about in traffic. Number 51. Did I use too many emojis in that text? Did I sound too eager? Oh, the mental gymnastics. Well, with the Outsurance Pointsman on your route, at least the traffic is one less thing to stress about. The Outsurance Pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 Afternoons with Relebogile Mabodja.
702 Afternoons is about all things in life, from music to inspiration. We get an opportunity to explore science, mental health, food. I almost feel like there's nothing we don't do on my show. One of the things I absolutely love about 702 Land and the 702 family is that we are so sharing. We share tears, laughs, smiles. We share in the amazing times and celebrate together as well. We have a range of topics, but when it comes to what we do cover on the show, absolutely everything. My listener is somebody who wants to grow, evolve, develop. They're empathetic, they are loving, they are so special that even when they don't have, they come through and share, and more importantly, they know how to walk the talk.
702 Afternoons with Relebogile Mabodja. Weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's a home for dream creators, operators, change makers. In celebration of this, 702 partners with Josie My Josie to unite all of Joburg in the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk by Bizabonke. The date is Sunday, July 26. We're walking through the iconic Joburg CBD and we want you to join us. Be a part of something special. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. And it's hosted by the city of Joburg. Come walk with the people, for our Josie. Babize Bonke. More on primemediaplus.com.
Let's hear from Susan, owner of Leopard Song Manor, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We were with our previous insurer for 13 years. Switching made me aware of things that we weren't covered for. It was a quick process. I saved a lot of money.
For boutique hotels, catering companies, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
At Specsavers, we're committed to offering affordable and professional eye care. That's why we're offering 1,500 Rand worth of savings with our winter promotion. Get a free frame up to the value of 1,500 Rand or use the 1,500 Rand on one of our leading vision enhancements, like Climate Eyes, which automatically adapts to changing light. To qualify, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination and prescription frame and lenses. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply. Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Hi, Bongani. I actually used to be good at solving these meta mysteries, but now I've since graduated to the level of being brilliant at it, at least according to my wife. And I estimate my success rate at over 80% actually. And my wife certainly does envy me for that. Nevertheless, the amount of pressure I go through now every time we're watching one of these mysterious TV shows, I need to provide the answers to her right from the beginning. So you can imagine the pressure I go through now. It's not easy being me. Do me all the way from Lone Hill.
So wonderful, are you? I love that voice note. I really do. We're talking, of course, about this Hunter virus. There's this cruise liner, the MS Hondius, which is stuck. Is it in Praia? It's stuck in Praia. This is the capital of the Cape Verde on the Atlantic Ocean. 3 people, of course, have already died. One in a critical condition after a viral infection typically spread by the feces, urine, or saliva of rodents. Rarely is it transmitted from human to human, but it can be. The difficult thing about it is that it can lay dormant for a number of weeks before the symptoms appear. And so these people have been on a cruise for the last 3 weeks, and we don't know when they would have contracted those on board who have the virus. And would it have been through some contaminated remains of rodents, as I suggest, or could it have been person to person? Can you imagine? And they're not allowed to get off board, right? So they're all stuck together there. Clearly the parties have stopped because, I would imagine they'd want to contain themselves as much as they can. So KG, they're sitting there going, who has it? Does KG have it? Somebody sneezes, they think, ooh, they've got it. Who prepares your food? Who gets your drinks for you? Who does your bed? When you're all worried about who else may have it. And did they get it on board? Did they get it before they came on board? Did somebody who had it before they came on board give it to somebody who didn't, who now has it, who is on board? They're all stuck there until they can determine who has it and who doesn't. And that may take some weeks. Would you be able to figure it out?
I'm just listening you talking about the NSFAS and the crisis there. Bongani, let's just accept this. Once it's in the hands of the ANC, there's no way that you can expect it to function. There is absolutely just no way. It's a nightmare. Thanks, Bongos, Tabo, Mitrend.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
All right, let's play the Whiz Quiz, shall we? Today's contestant is Tyler. Tyler is 13 years old. He's played before, I'm told. Tyler, you played in 2024. Do you remember what you got?
Yes, I think it was about 700 Rand.
700 Rand, that's exactly right. And then they pre-tested you before selecting you for today. And what did you get then?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. So you're feeling confident, are you?
Yes.
Yes, you should. Let's go. KG, start the clock. Info is a shortened form of which word?
Information.
Correct. What is 90 divided by 2?
35. No, 45.
Correct. Which city is in the Free State? Kroonstad or Kimberley?
Kimberley.
It's Kroonstad.
No.
True or false? Julius Malema is the leader of the Democratic Alliance.
True.
It's false. Give the fourth letter in the word whatever.
T.
Correct. Which famous giant iron tower do tourists visit in Paris?
The Eiffel Tower.
Correct. To what number does the term triple refer?
Disabled.
To what number does the term
to what
triple
0333.
Correct.
3.
Complete the saying, it's raining what and dogs?
Cats and dogs.
Correct. In what sport does Peter Coetzee take part for South Africa? Swimming or hockey?
Swimming.
Swimming is indeed the correct answer, and we'll give it to you. Not quite as well as the pre-test round. You're walking away with 700 Rand, just like you did in 2024, Tyler. Good going. Well played. At least you've kept your record. You've kept your standards. Tyler's 13 years old, competing for us for the second time. So Tyler walks away with 700 Rand. And isn't that just how it goes? You can always come back, even if you don't do as well as you'd like the first time, if you're aged 10 to 13.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702. This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Black Sheep Thinking is powered not by Camisa Asset Management, as I've been saying. It's apparently Camisa Asset Management, KG. So Black Sheep Thinking is powered by Camisa Asset Management. Invest differently. Better for investors for over 20 years. Camisa Asset Management is a licensed FSP. Now, breakthrough ideas, as we've been discussing for the last few weeks, can look wrong at first because they challenge long-held assumptions and they make people move away from established consensus. The idea is to test popular thinking and conviction. And for over 20 years, Camisa Asset Management has invested differently, looking up and far ahead, thinking unconventionally and moving away from the herd. So each week we've been talking about black sheep thinking for the last few here on 702 Breakfast. And today we turn to the story of the polio vaccine. Polio, as you would know, crippled hundreds of thousands annually before there was a vaccine breakthrough. And eventually, when it came through, you would have expected its inventor to become fabulously wealthy. The patent owner, one Jonas Salk, was asked what he would, what he would say about owning the patent of the vaccine. And obviously the question really was all about how much money he was going to make. This was in an interview in 1952. Here was his answer.
Who owns the patent on this vaccine? Well, the people, I would say. There is no patent. This is... Could you patent the sun?
Right? He was asked who owned the patent for the polio vaccine. And he said there is no patent because could you patent the sun? It was something that was a gift for all of humanity. And of course, since then, we have seen a rapid global distribution of the vaccine, polio cases dropping dramatically, and accelerated efforts to eradicate polio around the world. And isn't that the point? Sometimes progress begins with courage and conviction to see things differently. That's really the idea behind Black Sheep Thinking. That's exactly how Camisa Asset Management approach investment. They invest differently, finding opportunities in mispricings, looking far and ahead, thinking unconventionally, embracing ambiguity, even when it's uncomfortable. That's Black Sheep Thinking.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Morning, Bongani and the listeners. Bongani, I'm not necessarily someone that can solve mysteries in movies, but I just want to recommend you a series called The Inside Man. It's about a guy who's in jail, but he helps the police solve the mysteries of what could have possibly happened in a particular situation, especially murder cases. So yeah, let's just say from what I watched on that series, it really doesn't go as expected, especially everything that happens to the pastor. So just look out for that series called The Inside Man. I'm not sure where it is, but I watched it on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still there. Victoria from Pretoria.
The Inside Man. All right, that's one to note. What's that series that you've been watching, that murder series, the whodunit, that you were able to figure out when everybody around you could not?
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Big interview focuses on the Persian Gulf and what it means strategically for South Africa, for the African continent. The whole world is rethinking how it operates, from supply chains to sources of energy. Should we not do the same? A fascinating conversation coming up. Right now, though, it's 7 o'clock and time for Eyewitness News.
This is EWN.
The Board of Healthcare Funders argues the law must be followed in implementing the NHI, and taxi fares could be on the increase. Good morning, I'm Sviso Zulu. The Board of Healthcare Funders says its constitutional court challenge against the implementation of the NHI is not an attack on universal healthcare coverage, but on the process followed to pass the law. The board will be joined by the Western Cape government in their fight over the next few days at the Constitutional Court. They want the act to be declared unconstitutional and set aside, arguing that Parliament failed to meet its constitutional obligation to facilitate meaningful public participation before passing the law. The board's Dr. Katleho Mutudi says the public was not given enough information to properly engage with the bill.
The public participation process was materially inadequate because neither Parliament nor the public were provided with sufficient information to properly assess the bill's implications, including the proposed basket of services, funding model, operational design, and implementation framework. Without that information, meaningful engagement was simply not possible.
The South African National Taxi Council says it has advised its associations to consider fare increases of between 2 and 6 rand due to upcoming fuel hikes. From the stroke of midnight, petrol will go up by 3 rand and 27 cents per litre, while diesel will increase by 6 rand and 19 cents per litre. Santaco spokesperson Rebecca Pala warns that this is likely the first of several increases this year.
If it continues to be as hard as it's already being felt, then we would have to make communication with our commuters. We're paying well over 32 rand for a litre as things stand, but we're not going to hastily make these introductions of hikes.
Santaco has advised fare increases of between 10 and 30 rand for long distance travel. Pala says while hikes could or should remain fair to commuters, operators still need to cover rising costs.
So obviously the variations will differ because associations have had to make their own assessments to ensure that they strike some balance in ensuring that you don't chase away commuters, but also you don't have members who are no longer able to afford to pay installments, and to ensure that all other costs are able to be catered for.
Higher Education Minister Buti Manamela has vowed that placing NSFAS under administration will not affect student funding. Manamela also announced yesterday that the embattled Financial Aid Schemes Board has been dissolved following a series of resignations and an ongoing governance crisis. He says placing NSFAS under administration is necessary for now.
The administration is not intended to disrupt NSFAS operation. Let me state this clearly. Student funding will continue.
Alpha Ramushwana takes a look at how NSFAS has been placed on administration before.
In 2018, NSFAS was placed under administration for the first time following years of financial difficulties and governance failures. In 2024, its board was once again dissolved and the institution placed under administration for similar reasons. A new board was appointed in February last year, but it has now also been dissolved, with NSFAS once again placed under administration. Higher Education Minister Buti Manamela says it is becoming unsustainable for NSFAS to continue grappling with governance challenges. Professor Hlengani Mathebula has been appointed as the administrator of NSFAS in an effort to stabilise the institution. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
And the Border Management Authority says it's fully equipped to contain any protests at the Libombo border post in Mpumalanga. Police and immigration officials have been on high alert following threats of demonstrations on the Mozambican side. It's understood the protest is in retaliation to the recent anti-immigration marches in Gauteng. On Sunday, more than 24,000 people crossed the border in and out of South Africa. Khomozo Modise has more from there.
Border management authorities insist the high volume of travellers who crossed the Lebombo border post on Sunday was due to the end of the long weekend. But several people who spoke to Eyewitness News claim the rush was caused by panic and fear of a protest planned on the Mozambican side of the border, which ended up not taking place. BMA Deputy Assistant Commissioner Ndiubuo Lubimbi says they are aware of the threats.
We are aware and we have been engaging as the port stakeholders, and we're also engaging the Mozambican counterparts to try and ensure that there is safety for travelers and we also protect the country infrastructure.
Meanwhile, the BMA has beefed up its resources with a drone pilot at the Lebombo border and more police and SANDF members patrolling the area. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News at the Lebombo border post in Mpumalanga.
Gold's trading at $4,535.63 an ounce. The rand is at 16.81 to the dollar, 22.73 to the pound, 19.64 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $113.23 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South in the city of Tshwane. This is between the Rigel Avenue exit and the Flying Saucer interchange. That's due to an accident there. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N14 East between the Brakfontein interchange and the R55.
And in your sports, latest Premier League title race twist sees Arsenal take control after Everton hold Man City. Gunners playing in the Champions League semi-final second leg this evening against Atletico with an all-level, and a Dutch court saves the Eredivisie season.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers. Johannesburg starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 18. Pretoria 12 and 21. Vereeniging 10 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The Board of Healthcare Funders says its constitutional court challenge against the implementation of the NHI is not an attack on universal health coverage, but on the process followed to pass the law.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 7 o'clock, the other story we need to pay some attention to is what on earth is happening with the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. This is NSFAS. We saw for the first time last week, for the first time in something like 30 months, the scheme trying to appoint a permanent CEO. This, of course, as the board met to do this. Now, some of the speculation around how it all transpired was that there was a process to try and frustrate that exact decision. We saw 2 resignations of board members last week, Wednesday. The acting board chair, Mugwena Maluleke, and another board member, Karabo Mohale, they left the board. And the thinking was, with the 2 of them gone, the board could not then form a quorum to be able to appoint its preferred CEO. But the remaining board members said that, in fact, they got a legal opinion that said, no, they could still proceed, provided that in their gathering, there would be a sufficient number of board members and members of the executive team, conditions which they said they met. And so they went ahead and they appointed the CFO, Wasim Karim, who'd been acting CEO, as the new CEO. And you would have thought that's where the matter might rest. Well, yesterday, of course, we heard from the Higher Education Minister, Buti Manamela, placing NSFAS under administration. This is yet one more time. I think it's the third since 2018.
NSFAS is one of the most important public institutions in our democratic project. It exists to ensure that young people from poor and working class backgrounds are able to access higher education and training. For many families, NSFAS is not an abstract institution. It is the difference between exclusion and opportunity, and between hope and despair. Any instability within NSFAS therefore has implications not only for universities and TVET colleges, but for students, households, communities, the national fiscus, and public confidence in the ability of the democratic state to advance social justice. It is for this reason that government has a responsibility to act when the effective functioning of the institution is seriously undermined. Today, after careful consideration of the legal, governance, financial and operational circumstances affecting the NSFAS, I've taken the decision to place NSFAS under administration and appoint an administrator.
Does the minister have a point? You remember, of course, NSFAS also received a disclaimer from the Auditor General for its 2024-2025 annual report. Amongst the issues that were raised there was the failure to modernize its ICT systems and how there are many unresolved student appeals and ongoing problems with even accommodation, both in terms of operators who complain and the recipients, the students themselves. So does the minister have a point in acting in this way? Or do you say, hang on, why now? Why when it would appear that the CEO he might have preferred was not the one that was chosen? Is that the real reason? Because do we keep playing this game, this revolving door, placing it under administration, and as it seems to be getting back on its feet, we go back there again, and we go back there again? Minister Budi Manamela might argue a little differently.
And so allow me to briefly point out how we arrived at this point. When I assumed office as Minister of Higher Education and Training, concerns already existed regarding the constitution of the NSFAS board. Following legal assessment and advice, the department approached the courts through self-review proceedings concerning the processes through which the board had been constituted. We took this step because government cannot knowingly ignore potential legal irregularities in the constitution of a statutory body entrusted with billions of rands in public funds and the futures of millions of students. As the process unfolded, the board experienced a series of resignations in an effort to stabilize governance and ensure continuity. An interim chairperson, Dr. Mugwena Maluleka, and deputy chairperson were appointed. Subsequently, requests were made for the filling of vacancies on the board. However, having already approached the courts regarding the legality of the board's constitution, it would have been contradictory and potentially irrational for government to proceed as though that issue did not exist. At the same time, broader institutional concerns at NSFAS continued to deepen.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Things you need to know at this hour: 3 people, including a Dutch couple, an elderly couple, have died after that suspected outbreak of the hantavirus on board a cruise ship in the Atlantic. One passenger was flown to South Africa and is understood to be in a critical condition at a private hospital. The first reporting suggested it was Cape Town, but in fact it is here in Johannesburg. Speaking to the media yesterday, our health minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, confirming that a British man is among the cruise ship passengers of having, suspected rather, of having contracted the virus.
A British gentleman between St. Helena and Ascension. He fell ill, and when he arrived in Ascension, they airlifted him to South Africa, where he's in a private hospital. He's the first one who was confirmed to have this hantavirus.
Gosh, I want you to listen now to a US travel blogger. His name is Jake Rosmarin, who has posted an emotional video on social media, and he is one of the passengers stuck on board that ship. Jake Rosmarin.
I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it, and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away. It's happening to us right now. I'll share more when I can, but for now, I just ask for your kindness and understanding. Thank you.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN. Traffic.
7:15. Amo, let's check out the roads. What are you seeing at this hour?
Well, we've got an accident Bongani on the N3 North near Van Buren Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of the Yelands interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the M2 east towards the Gelderese interchange, delays from Cleveland Road. While traveling in the Bedford View area, we still have got queuing traffic on the N12 as well as the R24 West. This is between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange. And then there's about a 20-minute hold-up on the N1 North. This is due to that major accident scene that happened right near Albertina Sisulu Road. It's causing about a 20-minute hold-up coming out of the Deep Kloof interchange. Please be on the lookout there and try to avoid. You can still use the N12 West, especially if you're heading towards areas like Southgate. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702.
The big interview.
With Bongani Bingwa.
16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Now, in a dramatic development yesterday, the Iranian government, their news agency FARS, reported that the country's army had issued a statement saying that its navy had prevented the entry of what it called enemy American Zionist destroyers. This is into the Straits of Hormuz. A claim, of course, the U.S. has since rejected. But according to FARS, 2 missiles hit an American warship after it had ignored warnings from the Iranians. The conflict, of course, continues to drag on with peace on and off the table. Here in South Africa, the impact is beginning to bite, isn't it? Fuel prices set to rise now. Diesel costing up to 32 Rand 9 cents a litre inland. And for context, it was only 18 Rand a litre in February 2022. This was before the start of the war in Ukraine. And the current Persian Gulf crisis has added salt to an already gaping, festering wound. For how long will we continue to have to drink the pus? Metembe Moyo is the head of Africa practice at NSDV Law and a recognized geopolitical strategist, joining us to answer some of those questions. Metembe, a very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Morning, Bongani, and morning to your listeners.
I'm just going to ask you to come a little closer to the microphone. The prevailing view in many Western media outlets is that, we're near the end of this thing, we're near the finish line. It's just a matter of, dotting a few I's, crossing a few T's. But interestingly, what I'm observing from leaders in the Pacific region, people from Singapore, people from Australia, this is not necessarily that simple.
It's never been simple for the United States whenever it takes an adventure in the Middle East. Desert Storm 1, Desert Storm 2, the war in Afghanistan,
shock and awe,
the war in Iraq. All these conflicts, if you really think about it, are one very long, prolonged conflict with pauses here and there. Having said that, I think President Trump's strategy in his military exploitations have been shock and awe, as you have just said. He has relied heavily on air raids, air bombings, as opposed to boots on the ground. So if there are no boots on the ground, I don't think we will likely get an Afghanistan or Iraq type of quagmire where you've got a 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of what the MAGA base call a forever war. Having said that, however, the RIGC or the Iran parliament or whatever faction of the Iran leadership are desperate to survive at all costs. They are likely trying to survive until the US midterms in November. So I don't see them capitulating, and I don't see this being ended quite quickly.
So it's on and off as far as peace is concerned, rinse and repeat. I mean, in my introduction, I pointed out that we are now nearing double what we used to pay for diesel, certainly, before the start of the Ukrainian war, which is another conflict whose impact bleeds into what we are discussing now. And it just seems unstoppable.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we Africans feel the brunt of it because most of our African economies don't have their own refining capacity and they are oil importers. And then on top of that, you've got weak economies that don't have the fiscus to absorb the shock. So other African countries where I do work in, they don't have the luxury of a South African government that can pause certain levies until this crisis is over or give a 2-month or 3-month tax break or tax cut here. It becomes a tax on households. It becomes these households can't absorb an extra 18 rand per litre. They can't absorb an almost 100% increase in nearly a few months. So economies in the rest of Africa are struggling.
Development, as you will know, isn't a matter of, knee-jerk reactions to events you can't control. These things are planned years in advance. To get to implementation stage also takes time. What does that mean for pipeline projects that have been long in the planning, long in the making?
I think it makes them urgent now, Bongani. The projects that come to mind are South Africa's upgrades of its rail and infrastructure, rail and port infrastructure, the Lobito corridor that is meant to link DRC, Angola, and Zambia. When you move goods via rail, they're at least 20 to 50% cheaper to move. African economies right now are heavily reliant on road transport. And whenever there's a diesel shortage or a diesel price hike, the end user feels it. And because we are reliant on mining exports, we always are losing out on our premiums. Currently, the mining sector is in a commodity super cycle. The commodity prices are buoyant. We are supposed to be having a golden era.
Bumper years.
Bumper years, massive infrastructure projects should be rolling out because the fiscus should be swelling. Unfortunately, our margins are being curtailed by the cost of moving our goods.
How seminal is this moment? Is this a kind of before and after? Is that how we will come to look back on it?
Yes and no. It's seminal, and I think it's been seminal since COVID-19. So COVID-19 was the first disruption.
That makes it a really long moment.
It's a very long moment, but I think that moment, the start of the COVID-19 was exacerbated by the Ukraine war, and I think has now culminated in the Iran-US war. And it cannot be business as usual for African governments if they want to continue to survive. The supply chains have now proven to be too volatile. And seminal also in that the geopolitical lines have finally drawn. There was a flirtation of a West-East divide during the Ukraine war, but certainly now there is a clear demarcation between, are you a look east country or are you a look west country? So from a geopolitical perspective, African countries now have to choose their friends carefully.
Do we have anything to offer as African countries? Might there be, for example, because also at this time there's huge demand for some of the minerals we have to offer. Could that be a point of leverage?
Certainly. It is the point of leverage, in fact, Bongani. An interesting point, before Trump's adventure in the Middle East, in Venezuela, his first arena was the DRC. His first sort of like peace adventure was to make sure that the M23 rebels don't overrun the DRC mines. Now that must tell you something. The critical minerals that are required to rebuild the West's defense industries are immense. Just to give you a very interesting story I came across last week, Japan, for the first time since the Second World War, has passed a bill in Parliament to allow Japan to start manufacturing once again assault-type weapons. Japan only, after the World War, because it was one of the bad guys, said they're going to be a pacifist nation, they're not going to manufacture assault weapons. Japan now is selling to its allies, not to its enemies, importantly to its allies, assault weapons. So a technological giant like Japan reigniting its defense industries, Germany, the United States has to replace all these missiles it's using in all these adventures. All this takes immense amounts of very sophisticated critical minerals, which are found in places like South Africa, the DRC, Zambia.
Why aren't we writing that story? Why aren't we saying, because we're always complaining about beneficiation and the fact that, we're exporting raw minerals, why aren't we ahead of that curve?
We should be. And unfortunately, we don't have the industries for beneficiation. So unlike other policies where you can just make a law and use a lever, for example, BEE, or in the rest of Africa, we call it local content laws, where you say, if you are going to participate in the mining sector, you have to be locally owned. That's an easy lever to pull, because all you do is you say, Mr. Company X, if you want to do business here, you have to partner with a local.
Yeah.
But you see, with local beneficiation, it's a bit more difficult. You need cheap electricity. Do we have cheap electricity? No.
You need the skills.
You need the skills. Do you have the skills? No. You need sophisticated, deep value chains? Do you have them? No.
All right, we do have oil. Can producers like Nigeria and Angola, for example, seize an opportunity in this crisis?
They should. They should be refining their own oil. They should be, their domestic oil consumption should be grossly subsidized. And it's a travesty that oil in Nigeria, for example, is expensive. It's unfathomable why we can't do these things locally. I think a country that will be very good to look out for is Namibia, because Namibia has got a record of good governance. And if you look at its global index on the ease of doing business from a mining perspective, it ranks very highly. So one would expect that the new oil and gas exploration projects that are expected to come online will be equally responsibly managed, and perhaps Namibia could show the rest of Africa how to do it.
We're being told to panic, but my sense is as this thing continues to drag on, fuel security will be a concern. Food security could be a concern. I think one of our listeners suggested a little earlier on, if you think we've got an unmanaged migration problem now, watch what happens the longer this thing drags on.
Yeah. You see, I've had the privilege of not only working in outside South Africa, but of also living outside South Africa. Whenever there's a fuel crisis, you have almost an economic standstill. So large economies like South Africa can survive the storm, but the smaller neighboring countries, or the countries whose economies are already
large relative to the neighbors.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
Yeah, who are already teetering on economic collapse. So these shocks can also cause a massive push factor. But some hope for your listeners, though, is that the global community is also starting to react. So the free markets are reacting to this closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and the United States is pumping a lot more oil. Venezuela is pumping a lot more oil. There's a breaking story of about a week or so ago that the UAE has decided to leave OPEC, which means, OPEC was formed to
control pricing.
And the UAE is saying, we can't afford to throttle our production. We want to produce more. We want to take advantage of these high Brent crude oil prices. So the idea is that the deficit should be met by some new
Yeah, but the same UAE was facing attacks on its energy infrastructure just yesterday. It's really difficult to see what happens next. There is a speculation that the US president has now had enough of all of this, and that is going to escalate action against Iran. What is he calling it? Project Freedom. We might see American military escalations in that region to finish this once and for all. But anybody who tells you what is going to happen next is probably not telling the truth. Mthembeni, appreciate your time. Mthembeni Moyo is the head of Africa practice at NSDV Law, a recognized geopolitical strategist.
EWN Business.
Keeping with that theme in a sense, let's talk business news now. Muteo Horipe, Pick n Pay to restructure its workforce. This is tackling the high cost of staffing.
Pick n Pay has announced a Section 189A consultation process. The retailer is seeking to tackle the high cost of its staff base at its stores as part of a long-term turnaround strategy from Sean Summers, the CEO. Now, Section 189A of the Labour Relations Act in South Africa mandates a strict facilitated consultation process for large-scale retrenchments by employers with more than 50 employees. The company is consulting with Workers' Union Sakawu on the matter. It has also sought to indicate that the process is not just aimed at reducing headcount. Pick n Pay further stressing that it's seeking to bring its labor practices more in line with its competitors to reach an even footing.
So we've been talking about the price of oil. Where are things right now, Matteo?
Well, oil prices have declined just a little bit after closing sharply higher on Monday as traders continue to assess the risk of immediate supply disruptions amid renewed tensions between the United States and Iran. Futures for the international benchmark Brent crude oil for July delivery slid to more than 1% at $113 per barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate futures were also down 2%. A fragile ceasefire between the United States and Iran appeared close to unraveling on Monday after United Arab Emirates was hit by Iranian drones and missiles, while Washington said it had sunk Iranian vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Looking at how that's affecting the rest of the market, the Rand, 16 Rand 83 weaker against the dollar this morning, 19 Rand 65 against the euro, and 22 Rand 72 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is going up at $4,541 an ounce, while platinum is stronger by 1% at $1,977. Brent crude at $113 a barrel. More business after 8.
Straight to the news desk we go now. This Eyewitness News brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. COSATU speaks. Sviso Zulu.
That's right, Bongani. The Union Federation is planning to picket outside the Constitutional Court this morning, where a high-stakes case against the implementation of the NHI will be heard. The Board of Healthcare Funders and the Western Cape government will be bringing their fight today, seeking to have the Act declared unlawful. They argue that both houses of parliament did not comply with the constitutional requirements for meaningful public participation before passing the NHI bill. But the spokesperson for COSATU, Zanele Sabela, says the public consultation process was incredibly extensive.
The Federation also believes the BHF and other parties that have lodged legal challenges against the Act are jumping the gun. Government's plan is to launch the NHI gradually in stages, not overnight. Therefore, naysayers' contention that the state cannot afford it and that it should be set aside is merely a knee-jerk reaction.
The DA in KwaZulu-Natal is calling for the murder case of one of its members to be prioritized at a national level, claiming it was politically motivated. Prince Xaba was shot while sleeping in his home in northern KZN last week. Xaba was known for standing up against alleged corruption and fighting for basic human rights. KZN DA Deputy Leader Sthembiso Ngema.
He started by fighting against the bridge that was supposed to be built years ago, and he started questioning that, and he died when he was doing the preparations of having a peaceful march. So whether we like it or not, but we have to associate this with political killings.
Ngema has criticized the police's response to the case.
He was murdered on Sunday, but the police only arrived to take the details on Wednesday.
National routes connecting to KwaZulu-Natal could be affected by disruptive rains today. The South African Weather Service has issued alerts over the past few days of heavy downpours. KZN Cooperative Governance Department spokesperson Senzelwe Mzila has urged travellers to be cautious.
The weather conditions could disrupt major routes such as the N2 and N3. Disaster management teams will be closely monitoring these routes for any incidents.
And Iran and the US have traded fire over the Strait of Hormuz nearly a month after a fragile ceasefire. The United Arab Emirates has also accused Iran of being a attacked with missiles and drones, setting an oil refinery ablaze and injuring 3 Indian nationals. The renewed attacks yesterday came after US President Donald Trump announced an operation to escort trapped vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran military officials have not denied the fresh strikes, but they say there were no premeditated plans to attack the UAE. US forces say they destroyed 6 Iranian boats and shot down missiles and drones fired at US Navy and commercial vessels by Tehran's military, but Iran has denied its boats were destroyed, saying the US strikes killed 5 civilians on boats carrying goods. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 18 and 21.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South. This is between the Brakfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. Do remember that in the Midrand area, that intersection, the N1 South and Olifantsfontein Road, it's out of order, and that's the reason for that long backup along Olifantsfontein Road. This is just as you come out of the R55.
The top story this hour, COSATU and its affiliates are planning to picket outside the Constitutional Court today, where a case against the implementation of the NHI will be heard.
If your internet provider is becoming too expensive, you'd switch, right? So why pay more for car insurance? Switching to Outsurance saved 45-year-old Nivan 461 Rand on his 2025 Volkswagen T-Cross. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, you can ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Why do precautionary suspensions of public officials tend to be so prolonged? In fact, you've also spoken about a case of someone who was suspended for 12 years with full pay, who complained later about not getting a bonus. I mean, you can't make that stuff up.
You'll be surprised that most of these cases, it's when internal players collude, maybe say so-and-so is a problem, or we want to do something to remove so-and-so. It's better to just suspend, use this blunt instrument against the regulation from the Public Service and Administration Department, which says you can only suspend a person for 60 days if needs be whilst collecting information.
Professor Somatata Fikeni.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Wesgrow. Their senior management, Edu Invest, Wendy Viljoen, will be in conversation with us. We do this to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
It's another girl. Yes. Families multiply, fees shouldn't. With Ultimate Banking, you get support for every chapter. Get discounted banking for your spouse and give each of your children a head start with a Mega U account. Because as your family grows, your banking should keep up. Apply online. Your story matters. ABSA. Terms and conditions apply. ABSA is an authorized financial services provider.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani and the 702 lenders. When I was a student, NSFAS funded me for 3 semesters. And then when I got a job, I emailed them to tell them that I was ready to pay them back. And I kept on making follow-ups. Do you know that they contacted me after 10 months of my initial contact with them? And then they came to me via a third company, a third party. So what I wonder is that how much of the money that I owed NSFAS actually went to NSFAS and how much went to that company. Why did they have a company why do they outsource people to get money from people that they funded? Why can't they do that themselves?
Morning, Bongani and team. You know, the challenges that Minister Manamela is talking about at NSFAS is nothing new. Those issues have existed over a decade. The state is failing to manage this entity, NSFAS. They are just failing to put processes and procedures in place to manage this entity financially and operationally and distribute the resources for the education of children in this country. So let us wait and see what putting it under administration will achieve. If anything, my goodness.
Yeah, hey? I mean, just take that first voice note. You would imagine they have their own database where they can easily reach out to the students, and that you would imagine they would know who is scheduled to graduate, who does, and how to get that process underway even before the student graduates. There should be some kind of plan to say, keep in touch over the next however many months. As soon as you get employment, this is what kicks in terms of starting to pay back the money. But no, why would they do that when they can outsource some of these issues? And let's not forget, 1.2 million students are affected because that's the number of people the scheme services.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Debucho is in Kempton Park. Debucho, what's today's answer, please?
1988.
1988, Debucho. And tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I have.
Your biscuit. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. Thank you, mate. Debucho in Kempton Park saying the answer is 1988. What is the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Goodness me, it's heating up in the world of football. I mean, if you're a football lover, regardless of what team you may support, you're looking at all of this with some excitement. Man City scuppering up a little of their chances. It's not yet over. There are 3 more games to go, certainly for Arsenal.
Yeah.
3 more games from Pirates. There's the Champions League.
Yeah.
Kuningi, Kupisi.
Yeah, and then we have a month of no football, which is always sad.
We'll need a month off.
But we will start with the Premier League as Man City's title chase looks to have imploded in the space of 13 minutes last night. They'd been in control and leading thanks to a Doku first half stunner, only for Everton's Barry to score a brace and O'Brien a third with less than 10 minutes to play. Haaland and another Doku wonder strike saw City fight back for parity as it ended 3-3. It means Pep Guardiola's side need Arsenal to drop points in their final 3 games in order to reclaim that title.
They have to win our games. So now it's in our hands. If they win all the games, the title will be for Arsenal. So what we have to do is win our game, next one, recover well, and have to have a series of games, 3 days, and this is what we have to do.
While Arsenal have far more important matters on their mind this evening as they play in the UEFA Champions League semi-final second leg against Atletico Madrid with it all level at 1-1. Meanwhile, Chelsea have now gone 2 months without a league win as they suffered a 6th successive defeat. This time it was 3-1 to heavily rotated Nottingham Forest, while a court in the Netherlands has saved the Eredivisie season by dismissing NAC Breda's legal challenge. This all stems from the NAC's 6-0 defeat to go-ahead Eagles back in March when Eagles fielded Dean James. At the time, the defender had obtained Indonesian citizenship to represent the Asian nation at international level, and the Netherlands restricts dual citizenship, which NAC argues that meant he was ineligible to play in that game and had to be re-registered as he was currently registered as a Dutch national, while the court on Monday in Utrecht sided with the Royal Dutch Football Association, which had refused to approve a replay. Had the matter been resolved in favour of NAC, it would have meant that more than 130 Eredivisie matches potentially would needed to be replayed. And in rugby, a former All Black World Cup winning coach, Steve Hansen, admits he's warming up to the idea of selecting overseas-based players. However, only for world-class exceptions. The country has a strict policy which only selects players who ply their trade in New Zealand, while New Zealand's most successful head coach now suggesting if players had already received 20 test caps before they went overseas, then it could aid in their development as players and people, and adds that the Springboks' back-to-back World Cup success proves that this open-door policy can be successful. Listen, I don't want them to open any doors. Let them keep struggling there with the Super Rugby. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Weekend Breakfast with Googs Mshungu.
702 Weekend Breakfast is about switching gears after what's usually a very busy week. We keep you informed, we keep you on trend, what's happening, what's new, what's delicious, what's fascinating, and keep you company as you rest at the end of the week. What I love most about the 702 family and 702 land is we're this interesting motley crew of people, this diverse group of people from all over the country, all over the world, and we all come together, and it makes for this interesting, fascinating family. And I don't think you can find a more diverse, interested, or more engaged listenership than people who are part of the 702 family and 702 land. And so they listen to us to be their guide to the weekend because they trust Weekend Breakfast.
702 Weekend Breakfast with Googs Mshungu from 6 to 10 a.m.
Imagine if you could save time like you save money. A second here, a minute there. Type a little faster, walk a little faster. Or you could stop scrolling on the internet. Just think of all the hours you'll save. Now what if you could take all that time and invest it? Watch it grow. Until eventually, one day, you'd have so much time that you wouldn't know what to do with it all. But unfortunately, time doesn't work like that. It can't be stored or banked. And unlike money, you can't make it back. That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do whatever you want to do, even if it is scrolling on the internet. Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
Still shopping around for a saving here and a deal there? Choose Checkers, SA's #1 in value supermarket. And save on Clover Cheddar or Gouda cheese 800 grams, any two for 219 Rand. Nola mayonnaise 500, 750 or 780 grams for 39.99. And Omo Auto liquid detergent 2 litres or capsules 20 pack, any two for 199 Rand. Valid until 10 May, only at Checkers.
The Clement Manyatela Show will be coming to you live from the Trialogue Business in Society Conference today, a thought leadership gathering of corporates, government and NPOs, proudly supported by 702 and Prime Media Cares.
EWN Traffic.
13 to 8 with CWN Traffic, brought to you by the House of Citroen. The all-new Citroen Basalt is here. Book a test drive at citroen.co.za. Traffic lights out in a number of places. Amo, it's peak time delays.
That's correct, Bongani. On the N1 South, this is in the Midrand area at Olifantsfontein Road. Traffic lights are out of order. They're causing heavy traffic volumes. Pointsmen are on duty there, but do remember to be patient if you're traveling along that intersection. They're also out of order in Nasrec at Rivoli and Main Reef Road. They're also causing delays there as well. And then also out of order in Sandton at the M1 North and Greyston Drive, but pointsmen are on duty there. But do remember to be on the lookout and approach with care. If you are traveling on the N3 North, we still have got queuing traffic between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. The N3 South is now affected with delays coming out of the Kilulis Interchange. And then in Parktown, several roads are heavily backed up. Empire Road, Jan Smuts Avenue, St. Andrews Road. All this is due to the peak time delays we're experiencing at this time of the morning. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The all-new Citroen Basalt is here with keyless entry, wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. It's made to look good and make life easy. And that 470-litre boot, it's ready for every outfit change and then some. The all-new Citroen Basalt Coupe SUV from 354,000 Rand. Register now for limited launch deal assist of up to 40,000 Rand. Book a test drive today at citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance, please tell me what's the question if the answer is 1988. Let's go to Moses in Pretoria. Moses, what's the question?
Good morning, Mr. Bingwa. The question is, when was the first album produced or released called 19 for Adele? When was Adele's first album produced called 19?
Ooh, Moses, shame. Let me not even trip you there. That would have been a near impossible occurrence, I'm afraid, Moses. Not quite. Shabby, you're in Joburg. What's the question?
Morning, Bongani. The question is, when was Adele born?
Indeed. That is when Adele was born, in the year 1988. And tell me, Shabby, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I do.
Your biscuit, 2,000 Rand, is coming your way. All thanks to Outsurance and 702. Woohoo, indeed. So you see why Moses could not have been correct. She couldn't have released the album, her first album, in the year of her birth. Just couldn't be. The sky would have fallen, wouldn't it?
Insurance can't improve your golf handicap, but they could improve the car insurance premium you currently pay. Get a quote today, and if Outsurance can't save you money on your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Get a quote and get savings or cash. Either way, you win. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Whenever she fell or got hurt, a kiss always took the pain away. Honey and hugs helped at first when the coughing started. It's just a cold. Keep her warm and she'll be fine, we thought. I wish I could kiss RSV away too.
Respiratory syncytial virus is a contagious virus that can lead to serious illnesses, including lung infections. Fortunately, protection for infants against RSV is now available in South Africa. Ask your healthcare provider about keeping your baby protected during their first RSV season.
For many South Africans living with blood cancer or blood disorders, a stem cell donor is their only hope for a second chance at life. Right now, someone is waiting for a match. This World Blood Cancer Month, be the reason they get another moment, a birthday, and a chance at a full life. Visit dkmsafrica.org and register to become a stem cell donor today.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
8 to 8, let's catch up with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Burla.
Let me not preempt the story because maybe my biased views might influence people.
Yes.
Let's talk about sleeping out.
Yes. I mean, it's amazing how when you were younger, you could sleep out pretty easily and it was fine. You'd go to friends' houses or whatever, and you'd grab a couch or a bed and you'd be fine. Now, in our mature years, there's nothing more I hate than sleeping out, I must say. But if you do sleep out, some people like to make it as comfortable as they can. So this video that we're talking about is a woman gets picked up by her friend, and as the friend is approaching the car to get into the car, she has in her hands a portable fan that she's taking with her to the friend's house to sleep, and the friend just bursts into laughed and said, "What are you doing?" She said, "No, I can't sleep without the fan. I need the fan because, it's very hot." So, I mean, taking the fan with you every time you got to sleep out must be quite the mission. But, that's what she did. So I wanted to find out from our 702 family this morning. When you sleep out, and it's a planned sleep out, do you take anything with you to make it more comfortable or homely, or do you have something that you need from home that helps you sleep? What would it be for you? And what are your views there, Bongles? You said you didn't want to comment in the beginning.
Yeah, no, can we not sleep out firstly? Just not do that. She'll kill me for saying the story, but my mother she used to take a towel and she'd put it on the pillow of the house wherever she might be sleeping.
Yeah.
So as to retain a smell of home.
Ah.
A smell that was
like
familiar
comfort.
for her.
Yes. Yeah. I like that.
I'm not suggesting that it wasn't to smell the other people's bedding. I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm saying she used to do it to retain a smell of home.
Okay, that's her story and she's sticking to it.
I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
All right, from sleeping out to eating out early.
When you eating out, what do you prefer? Do you prefer eating out earlier, or do you like to have a sort of an evening, like sort of an 8 o'clock booking when you make your? Yeah, I mean, I don't. If I can have my way, earlier the better.
5:30.
Yeah, with the pensioners.
Yeah.
With the pensioners, yeah. I mean, and this. Yeah, go ahead.
Then you can have a little bit of sundowners.
You can, and you can get home earlier. You may watch a bit more series before bedtime. Yeah, we old buggers, hey? But this
Put on
seems
the
to be...
blanket.
Yes,
cup of cocoa.
And this seems to be a trend in which the way people are moving. Let's take a listen to this clip.
A growing trend at restaurants, people eating earlier. A study finds the 6 p.m. hour is now the most popular time for dinner, and reservations in the 5 o'clock hour are way up. Experts say the trend is in line with living a healthier lifestyle centered on a good night's sleep and drinking less alcohol.
Good night's sleep and drinking less alcohol. So when you make your dinner plans with your friends, chommies, whoever it may be, what do you prefer? Do you prefer maybe even an afternoon over an early evening? What's your preference, and why do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, anything after... I certainly couldn't have dinner at 8 o'clock. I don't care what day of the week it is. I'm just not... And, there's a culture in many countries around the world. If you go to New York City, for example, you can make a reservation for as late as 10 o'clock.
Late, yes.
Yeah, you could be having dinner at 1 o'clock in the morning in some of these world cities that buzz until late. But for me, 4:30, 5 o'clock, perfect time to have dinner. I want to be in bed in my curlers by 9. Eh? What little hair I have left to curl. All right, eating out early. What time do you like going out? Are you all about daytime or nighttime? And what are your reasons?
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Bongani, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic in the city of Tshwane Montana Park. This is on the N1 South between the N4 exit and Sefako Makhatho Road. This is due to a major accident seen about a 20-minute hold-up there. Please be on the lookout. You can still use the R80 East Mabopane Highway towards areas like the CBD. I'll have more details coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance Pointsmen can't help you beat your personal best, but they can help you get to the gym on time. Seeing them on your route just makes you feel better, doesn't it? The Pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so everyone gets to where they need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 Feedback
with Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa Kone?
Yeah, bo.
Eating out early or later?
Definitely earlier. That's how we grew up. I remember growing up, we used to eat supper at around 5, 5:30,
yeah.
Yes.
I want everybody in my household seated at the dinner table by 5:30, 5:45.
Of course, and that was healthier. And I actually even see it with weight gain. Like now that I eat a little bit later, 6:30, 6 o'clock at times, you know, the weight
It has
is a
an
little
impact.
yeah, it does have an impact.
And if you must sleep out, I don't know why you would, but if you must, what comfort do you take with you?
I definitely take a throw and a water bottle. The throw because it's mine and it's what I use inside my household, and the water bottle because I'm always cold and I don't want to inconvenience.
hot
anyone.
water bottle.
Yes, a hot water bottle.
A hot water bottle, really?
It's weird, Bongani, but I'm always cold and I just prefer to have it.
Are you one of those feet cold people?
Yes,
I'm
I
an
am.
ear cold person.
Yes.
So I must have a beanie
Something on your ears.
or a balaclava or something
Mhm.
to cover my ears.
Yeah.
All right. What other feedback do you have?
Well, Bongani, listeners are reacting to Muteo's question this morning about the kind of rules they're putting in place to be more fuel efficient. And many listeners are saying the global fuel crisis has really hit their pockets really hard.
So what are they doing?
They're speaking about routines around movement. They are speaking about working from home more frequently and negotiating hybrid schedules. Sometimes, some days in the office.
Subsidies
some
from the
days-
bosses, eh? Fuel subsidies.
I think the bosses should be a little bit more considerate, unless they want to give us a raise. So it's something to consider.
Yeah.
They're also speaking about how they are buying more in bulk so that it lasts longer, and just buying essentials, basically. And also walking to the nearest shops instead of driving
Right.
everywhere, Bongani. There's also a little bit of feedback about solving murder mysteries. And listeners are saying they are able to solve murder mysteries on Netflix series and crime and investigation channels, Bongani.
All right, we'll talk more about that. And while we were asking you that question right now, though, it's 8 o'clock. Time for the latest eyewitness news brought to you by ShopRite. Lower prices you can trust, always.
This is EWN.
The Board of Healthcare Funders argues the public is in the dark about the NHI as it takes its challenge against the Act to the Apex Court, and Putimanamela slammed over the latest NSFAS debacle. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Board of Healthcare Funders says its constitutional court challenge against the implementation of the NHI is not an attack on universal health coverage, but on the process followed to pass the law. The board will be joined by the Western Cape government in their fight over the next few days. They want the act to be declared unconstitutional and set aside, arguing that Parliament failed to meet its constitutional obligation to facilitate meaningful public participation before passing the law. The board's Dr. Katleho Mutudi says the public was not given enough information to properly engage with the bill.
The public participation process was materially inadequate because neither Parliament nor the public were provided with sufficient information to properly assess the bill's implications, including the proposed basket of services, funding model, operational design, and implementation framework. Without that information, meaningful engagement was simply not possible.
Higher Education Minister Putimanamela is facing backlash after he placed embattled NSFAS under administration. Manamela says there's instability at the Student Financial Aid Scheme, which was worsened by the recent resignations of the board members. The entity has been facing governance challenges since it was first placed under administration in 2018. Nkosikhona Malingamnisi reports.
Minister Putimanamela told a media briefing in Pretoria yesterday that the intervention is aimed at stabilizing NSFAS. However, the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union has strongly criticized the decision, saying it was not consulted. The House spokesperson Lwazi Nkolonzi argues that as a key stakeholder in the post-schooling sector, they should have been involved.
We want to categorically say to Minister Manamela that undermine Nehawu at your own peril and you shall see the might of this red and militant national union.
Meanwhile, the South African Union of Students has rejected both the decision and the process of placing NSFAS under administration, as spokesperson Dr. Tato Masekwa explains.
We as SAUs are requesting that the minister needs to reverse. This decision deserves to be reversed.
Kosi Khona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
A new witness is expected to take the stand at the Madan Commission of Inquiry today. The commission has not yet confirmed the identity of the witness who is expected to give evidence on alleged police corruption. Yesterday, a crime intelligence officer known as Witness G testified entirely in camera due to safety concerns. Commission spokesperson Jeremy Michaels says that while parts of the witness's testimony were intended to be public, it became impractical to continue to opening proceedings.
I think it was patently clear from what we've witnessed over the last couple of hours since proceedings started this morning. It is very clear that it is impractical to proceed, as Justice Madlanga was saying, in the fashion that we have.
The governments of Kenya and Nigeria have expressed concern for their respective nationals following protests against undocumented migrants in South Africa. Demonstrations have been held in KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape and Gauteng, calling for tougher immigration controls, including stricter visa regulations and a review of asylum policies. Some foreign nationals have expressed anger over the marches, with some labelling the highlighted issues as misleading. Maki Molapo takes a look.
The Nigerian government has accused the South African government of not doing enough to clamp down on what they have labelled as threats and harassment experienced by migrants in the country. As a result, officials in Abuja say they're organising emergency repatriation flights for at least 130 citizens. Nigerian authorities say their nationals, both documented and undocumented, who reside in South Africa have cited security concerns as reasons for returning to their home country. The Foreign Ministry has also called for impartial investigations into the deaths of at least 2 Nigerians who allegedly died in 2 separate incidents involving South African security personnel last month. The Kenyan government has also advised its citizens to carry valid identification and relevant documentation, also advising them to report to SAPS and approach the High Commission in Pretoria for appropriate assistance. Maki Malapo, Eyewitness News.
Gold's trading at $4,535.63 an ounce. The rand is at 16.81 to the dollar, 22.73 to the pound, 19.64 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $113.28 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South. This is in the city of Tshwane between the N4 exit and the Proof Plus interchange. That's due to a major accident scene. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 North. This is now heading towards Rigel Avenue exit. That's due to an accident.
And in your sport, 4 games in the Betway Premiership this evening, with Orlando Pirates against Stellenbosch being the headliner. While overseas, we have the UEFA Champions League semi-final second leg at the Emirates, with Atletico and Arsenal 1-1 from that first leg. Man City have slipped up in the Premier League title race after a 3-3 draw, and the IPL sees the Delhi Capitals against the Chennai Super Kings.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the Board of Healthcare Funders says its constitutional court challenge against the implementation of the NHI is not in any way an attack on universal health coverage, but on the process followed to pass the law.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
In the news this week, fuel prices are rising yet again, but there's some relief for ShopRite shoppers. With ShopRite's bulk buying power, they're able to secure stock long before price increases, which means they can keep their prices lower for much longer. So you can have deals like Wheat Bix 900 grams for a low $52.99, Rick Coffee 750 grams, or the 800 gram refill for only $129.99 each. Valid till Sunday, 10 May. Lower prices you can trust, always.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Abize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 7:02.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. Welcome to the program. So many of you, of course, talking to us via our YouTube page. We were talking a little earlier about the hantavirus and those poor passengers trapped on the MS Hondius in Praia. This is the capital of the Cape Verde in the Atlantic Ocean. And somebody said this sickness sounds like the beginning of a zombie apocalypse movie. I mean, that's probably dramatic, but we don't need to worry about it here in South Africa. We had word from the Minister of Health who said that, look, the National Institute for Communicable Diseases is looking into all of this, and so we should trust what they do because it very rarely is passed on from human to human. Lots of people very happy with Metembe Nimoyo, our big interview this morning. Someone commenting on the bright, gorgeous guest we had on with a light yellow jacket. Was it a light yellow jacket? So he's a fashionista too. We're talking about so many things. Kabazela wants you to answer the question of sleeping out. If you must, I don't understand why people do, but if you must, what creature comforts do you take with you? I told the story that my mother used to take a towel to remind her of the smell of home when she would visit. It wasn't because she didn't want to smell the other people's bedding. Didn't say that at all. Hotel. Eating out early? Do you have date night at 4:30 p.m.? Doesn't it sound heavenly? You can be home by 9. Right? Switch on the electric blanket. Maybe still get an episode of something. Make your hot cocoa. Life would be perfect.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Amo, what time does date night begin?
Around 5. So
When
that
you
we
leave.
can. No. When we
must be
at the
arriving at the
we must
place.
be there by 5 o'clock in the evening, so that we by let's say maybe 6 p.m. we eat our meal and then we can go home.
Aibo, that's a bit much.
Short. Eh?
I mean, so let's say we arrive at 5 and the food arrives maybe around 6, quarter to 6-ish. Then
Yeah.
we eat. Yeah, we relax and then so that we can have more time to talk and then head home.
By 7, the
I-
topics
I-
are finished.
No, they're not finished. But I mean, I want to be done by then. I want to be in my bed. Also, the hours that we work, guys,
Yeah.
always have to be calculated with your time. You can't just be like at 9 o'clock, there you are talking nonstop, you know?
I was just thinking, let me answer very properly. Answer properly. Mateo, what time does date night start?
Around 6. Probably head out past 10.
So you're at the restaurant at 6 or
Yeah,
wherever
at
it
the
is you may be
restaurant
going
at
to.
6, have our food, have the chats, but we always want to have like a nightcap of some sort at another place.
Oh,
Yes.
you guys are the fires.
Yes.
So the point is to babysit for Amma, not for you, hey?
Hi, Bongani. Funny enough, I do that as well. Everywhere I go, I take my towel with. And for some reason, it does seem to help me to sleep better because I struggle to sleep in unfamiliar places. So I agree with your mom.
Morning, Bongani. This is Louis from Togoza. If I were to visit a friend and make myself comfortable, it's going to be a problem. I sweat, Bongani. I sweat. Throughout winter, summer, it doesn't matter which season it is. I sweat in my sleep. So I'm going to have to take a pillow, 2 blankets, the one I'm going to sleep on top of and the one that I'm going to cover myself with. So hence I don't like visiting. I prefer going and come back, not sleeping there. Thank you, Bongs.
Well, the 2 blankets could be a clue, hey? Just putting it out there. 2 blankets? That could be a clue. I don't know. I'm just saying. Hey, Mateo? Yeah, I wasn't getting...
Morning, Bongles in Gabazela. Do you know what? I just want to put another twist to this late night eating or whatever time people enjoy their dinners. Let me tell you, I have a very strange habit, eating cereal at night. It's been going on now for years. My wife at first wasn't happy, but now she even asked me, what time are you having your cereal? Because I would like to go to bed. Yeah, I don't know when it started and if it's ever going to end. I just enjoy cereal at night. Usually with Bix, you name all those brands, I eat them anytime from 9 onwards. And then I can still go to bed. Have a good night's rest. Have a good bye.
Cereal at night. Yeah, ne? Look, we all have our quirks. We all have our thing. Just, for me, it's not cereal at 9.
EWN Traffic.
Who's imagining cereal at 9 and crashing their car? Amo? 14 after 8?
Well, hopefully they're not crashing their cars, Bongani. We've got delays in the city of Tshwane. This is due to heavy traffic volumes between the N4 exit and the Proof Plus interchange. That's due to roadworks as well as an accident, unfortunately. So please be on the lookout there. You can still use the R80 east towards the CBD while traveling on the N1 north out of the Flying Saucer interchange. Delays towards Rigel Avenue. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N1 south towards Olifantsfontein Road in the Midrand area, and that's due to faulty traffic lights there. They're also out of order in North Riding at Malibongo Drive in Mahogany, as well as in Edenville at Modderfontein Road and Van Riebeck Road. But pointsmen are on duty there to give you ease of traffic. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bar Black Sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, sir. More than 3 bags full. We think beyond today, tomorrow, more. Look up, look far ahead. We may choose to leave the herd. There's greener grass where fewer care to tread. Bar Black Sheep, proof of what we do. Better for clients for over 20 years. Courage, we hold the course for you. Bar Black Sheep, if you want more wool, it takes black sheep thinking. Camissa Asset Management. Invest different. Camissa Asset Management is a licensed FSP.
It's 6 a.m. in Kenya. Victor's little sister starts high school today, but her fees need to be paid first. Back in Jozi, Victor logs onto the Absa banking app and sends her money and a little extra for lunch. It arrives instantly.
Your money makes their world go round. Send cash to 18 countries across the world with Absa Global Pay. It's safe, instant, and affordable. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi.
It's Joburg.
In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Jozi. Babize bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
17 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to the show. If you've just joined us, you'll know, of course, we've been keeping up with the goings on MasterChef South Africa. That kitchen, the pressure, the boiling point that is the top 10. And this week, of course, was no exception. The guest chef, Mutiba Maketa, the challenge, a complex Parisian dish, right? A French dessert, a layered creation demanding precision, patience, and perfection, from a choux pastry, chocolate work. It all sounds very fancy. Josh Lutz from Pretoria was, of course, our contestant who unfortunately exited the show this week and joins us in studio this morning. Josh, a very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I loved your journey. Your panna cotta looked sensational.
Thank
you.
The
lamb in the garden.
Yes.
Your onion dish.
Yes, the braised onion steak.
Yes. So you are obviously, I mean, you don't get to the top 10 without some ability and some skill. How hard is it to go?
You know what? It's a very bittersweet sensation because I think, like I said in my exit when I was eliminated, the cooking, the learning, the expressing the passion with people that that get it, that are also very passionate about food, but the people, they really made the journey. So it was bittersweet because I was leaving these people that I love so much in this nice little comfort zone, this little soft space egg, the safe zone. But yeah, other than that, it's never fun to lose, but we live and we learn.
You called your dish a taste of trauma.
Yes, it was in fact a taste of trauma, let me tell you.
Tell us about that pressure test and what you were asked to do and what you imagined you were going to create.
So the pressure test was our first replication challenge. So we had to replicate our guest chef's Paris breast. So it was an extremely intricate, layered thing, and choux being notorious for being one of the most difficult pastries to work with because it's twice cooked. If it doesn't come together, it doesn't come together. It's very rarely that you can actually save it. So it was everything from a dark chocolate ganache to the choux to caramelized onion to banana to a banana jam, peanut praline. It was a beautiful dish, but yes, it unfortunately got the better of me.
Had you worked with a choux pastry before?
I had not worked with choux pastry before. I think I attempted it when I was younger, but not very recently, no. And the first time was quite a disaster.
Listen, I mean, the thing I respect a lot, I've been to the set.
Yes.
And one of the things that struck me was just how intimidating the pantry is.
Yes, no, very much. It's
right? Nobody tells you.
No. And now you're like a kid in a candy store because we're all these food lovers and we have all of these beautiful produce and proteins and literally everything you can think of was there. So definitely intimidating, but so much fun.
What's your favorite ingredient to cook with?
That is an extremely difficult question to answer. I would say I'm going to be very cringy and just say garlic because it works with everything. It works with everything. If you really wanted to, you could even make garlic in a dessert.
How would you make it sweet?
There are many ways. You could caramelize it, make like a garlic jam, something like that. But yeah, I think if you play around with it, you can definitely get a sweet note from
When
garlic.
are we coming to your house?
House next Tuesday.
You are the singing chef. I mean, I suppose one of the things to do with these kinds of competitions is to just really make sure that you're having fun, you're showing as much of your personality, and the rest will be what it'll be, hey?
No, definitely. I think also in a show like MasterChef, which is very close to people's hearts, like, yeah, it's difficult. I also work in television, so I know it's difficult to pretend on a show like that. It's so intimate, so not draining, but it takes a lot out of you because it's a very full schedule. It's emotionally taxing.
As somebody who's worked in television production, I mean, when you have to restart your dish, are you already thinking about the timing and the clock and how this is going to look? Because you understand what it takes to even film it, right?
Yes, no, let me tell you, that clock, there's nothing holy about that clock. So yes, no, definitely in my head, I'm constantly like trying to like you said, because I work in tele, I understand it a bit better, like trying to keep that time frame in mind, trying to, still be not entertaining, but still be authentic and making good television and, like you said, showing your personality. So yeah.
Listen, I think you're an excellent chef. I think you delighted us, certainly with the eyes. I mean, we couldn't get a taste of the food. But I think you were really a strong competitor on the competition, and I think you did yourself really, really proud. And there were some lovely moments on the competition, including this as you prepared for meals. You were being funny on the show, and we thought we'd choose one of those moments.
Okay.
And close our conversation with it. KG, we don't have it yet. We thought we had it, but we perhaps don't. As you know, in production, these things happen not only on live television, but it also happens on radio too. Now we do have it.
On in the moonlight.
It's not showing time, which is giving me angst.
It doesn't sound like it's
That's
on.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's a coping mechanism. I'm making a Polish-inspired pork stuffed cabbage roll with a Romanesco sauce. In Poland, it's called gułebki, gulipski, something like that. It's cabbage rolls. Things are going well. But I felt good in the previous weeks, and we saw what happened there. No judges.
Where's the opera to present it? There was opera through the entire... There you go.
That note. All right, so you missed out on the top 10. What are you taking away from this experience overall?
I'm really, if I'm being honest with you, a revived passion and respect for food and for, I'm taking away a bunch of extremely good people that I can imagine will only continue to be in my life. And I mean, MasterChef is such a great platform for people who love food and who would love to amalgamate food into their careers and maybe, take this launching point and go further with it.
Start a business.
Yes.
Who knows? One of these days.
Start a television program.
Congratulations on your journey so far, and thank you for talking to us. Josh Lotz is, of course, a TV production coordinator and model, and the latest contestant to exit this season of MasterChef South Africa.
702.
The Worldview.
Let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Vicky Turner in for Adam Gilchrist. And Vicky, let's talk about the MV Hondius, this cruise ship stuck in the Atlantic Ocean because of the hantavirus. All right, I'm just not sure what's happening with our connection with Vicky Turner. We had a similar difficulty just yesterday. Vicky, are you able to hear us? Right. No, Vicky Turner, it would seem. KG, I tell you what, why don't we play some Adele? It's a birthday.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
Foster Mohale, we understand that contact tracing is being done to see if the two patients who were in South Africa may have infected other persons.
There's that possibility to try to identify anyone who was in close contact with those who tested positive. And this is part of our response to contain further spread of the disease.
And what do we know about hantavirus? Is this something that we are familiar with in South Africa?
It's not common in South Africa. It's the disease which spreads through infected rodents.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
702.
The Worldview.
All right, we've got Vicky now on the phone. See if that'll work. Vicky, good morning.
Good morning, finally.
Ah, there you go. There you go. A familiar voice. Let's talk about hantavirus in the Atlantic.
Yeah, hantavirus is causing chaos, actually, aboard this cruise ship. We've got 2 confirmed cases of hantavirus following a suspected outbreak on the MV Hondius cruise ship. 3 deaths now. 2 are Dutch from Holland and 1 is from Germany. We now know as well as...
And the line just cut. The delights of live radio. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just one of those.
EWN Business.
All right, let's talk business news now. Muteo Haripe, Pick n Pay consulting, the consultation process, I should rather say, looking at reducing stuff. I mean, they've tried all sorts of things to turn around.
Yeah,
Pick n Pay.
In between.
Is it not working?
It's gradually working, Bongani, to be honest, that consultation process under the CEO, Sean Summers. I think this is one of the levers they're pulling to try and make sure that they reduce the cost of doing business at the company. Pick n Pay has announced a Section 189A consultation process. The retailer is seeking to tackle the high cost of its staff base at its stores as part of a long-term turnaround strategy. The Section 189A of the South African Labour Relations Act 66 of 1995 governs large-scale retrenchments for employers with more than 50 employees, are setting strict time-bound consultation rules to avoid mass job losses, often involving a CCMA facilitation. Now, the company is consulting with worker union Sakau on the matter. CEO Sean Summers says years of concessions has seen the company overstaffed during weekdays, but understaffed during evenings and weekends. It wants more permanent workers to take up weekend shifts. It also has sought to indicate that the process is not just aimed at reducing headcount.
Fuel prices, that pressure is going to affect budgets.
Yeah, it's getting tougher as the year goes on, and the war wages on that Strait of Hormuz. South African motorists will part with 14% more for petrol and almost 24% more for diesel as the fallout from the Iran war continues to cause pain on the domestic and wider global economy. During the past month, the rand remained relatively stable, but the average price for the global benchmark Brent crude oil well above $100 from $93 earlier. A sharp upward turn that's also caused the petrol price to go up here locally. The Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resources saying petrol grades at 93 and 95 would rise by 3 Rand 27 per litre, which will take the price to 26 Rand 52 a litre, while diesel will also go up by 6 Rand 19 cents per litre, taking the charge to 32 Rand 9 cents per litre. Fuel prices are expected to continue to rise as the US and Iran exchange blows over that Strait of Hormuz.
Your indicators?
The rand now 16 Rand 80 against the US dollar, 19 Rand 64 against the euro, and 22 Rand 72 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is up close to 0.5% at $4,543 an ounce, or platinum is stronger by more than 1% at $1,976. Brent crude inching up again at $113 a barrel. It's really going to be a pain point for the South African consumer come this year. As long as that war does not end, we're definitely going to be paying more.
Well, like I said earlier, there's this view, and maybe it's wishful thinking, because really everybody, I would say, wants that thing to be over, Americans and Iranians alike. But this situation is at a stalemate, and it's all about, can we escalate this thing and end it once and for all? I think that would be the Trump administration view if they can't get to some kind of agreement. The Iranians, of course, will want to drag it out and hope that for every, hit the Americans give them, they can hit back just enough, even if it doesn't mean necessarily collapsing. They couldn't take on the U.S. military.
Yeah, I think the fear from their side is losing control over the strait, and they know if they come to any deal that points to them not having control over that passage of oil, then they would have lost all the power they've had before.
They've got to drag it out until the midterms and see what happens to Trump thereafter. We all want it to end. It probably won't very soon.
Yeah, that's your business for this morning. More analysis from Stephen Grotes later this afternoon.
Positive news, perhaps happy things, happy themes. Up next, we speak to the legend Vusi Mahlasela, the singer-songwriter. In the meantime, Sfisa Zulu, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The South African National Taxi Council says it has advised its associations to consider fare increases of between 2 and 6 Rand due to the upcoming fuel hikes. From the stroke of midnight, petrol will go up by 3 Rand and 27 cents per litre, while diesel will increase by 6 Rand and 19 cents per litre. Santaco spokesperson Rebecca Pala is warning that this is likely the first of several increases this year.
If it continues to be as hard as it's already being felt, then we would have to make communication with our commuters. We're paying well over 32 Rand for a litre as things stand, but we're not going to hastily make these introductions of hikes.
Pala has also advised fare increases of between 10 and 30 Rand for long-distance travel. And she says while hikes could remain fair to commuters, operators still need to cover rising costs.
So obviously the variations will differ because associations have had to make their own assessments to ensure that they strike some balance in ensuring that you don't chase away commuters, but also you don't have members who are no longer able to afford to pay installments, and to ensure that all other costs are able to be catered for.
Union Federation COSATU is planning to picket outside the Constitutional Court today, where a high-stake case against the implementation of the NHI will be heard. The Board of Healthcare Funders and the Western Cape government will be bringing their fight today, seeking to have the Act declared unlawful. They argue that both houses of Parliament did not comply with constitutional requirements for meaningful public participation before passing the NHI bill. COSATU spokesperson Zanele Sabela says the public consultation process was incredibly extensive.
The Federation also believes the BHF and other parties that have lodged legal challenges against the Act are jumping the gun. Government's plan is to launch the NHI gradually in stages, not overnight. Therefore, naysayers' contention that the state cannot afford it and that it should be set aside is merely a knee-jerk reaction.
The DA in KwaZulu-Natal says it's worried about safety ahead of the local government elections following the murder of another local leader. Prince Xaba was shot last week while sleeping in his house in northern KZN. Xaba was known for standing up against alleged corruption and fighting for basic human rights. The DA's provincial deputy leader, Sthembiso Ngema, says the latest attack is concerning.
Well, it triggers us. Remember, we're still mourning the death of Councillor Nhlalienza in Umgeni municipality. And also, it always triggers us when things like this happens.
Ngema says they will not be deterred from delivering their mandate.
We will continue to drive issues. We will continue to expose corruption. We will continue to make sure that the community of KwaZulu-Natal gets services from government. And we'll ensure that we continue to push for accountability, as we always say, expose the corruption.
And finally, a parade of stars showed up at the red carpet of fashion's most anticipated event of the year, the Met Gala, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. This year's event took place under the theme Costume Art, accompanied by the dress code Fashion is Art. The exhibition focuses on the relationship between clothing, the human form, and artistic expressions, featuring garments spanning 5,000 years to examine how fashion and fine art engage with the body. The guest list was especially starry this year, with the event's co-chairs including Beyonce and award-winning actress Nicole Kidman and global editorial director of Vogue Anna Wintour.
Well, I think obviously the Met Gala is celebrating the work of Andrew Bolton, the brilliant chief curator at the Metropolitan Museum for Costume. And I think every year Andrew outdoes himself with the themes of the show and the cultural references. And what I think people love about tonight is not only is it great for fashion and obviously a very important fundraiser for the Met and for the Costume Institute, it's also incredibly important to the economic health of New York City itself.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 21 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North approaching the Baklu interchange coming out of Rivonia Road. There's also queuing traffic on Witkoppen Road in the Polshof area towards Rivonia Road. Please be on the lookout there.
The top story this hour, the South African National Taxi Council says it has advised its associations to consider fare increases of between 2 and 6 rand due to the upcoming fuel hike.
At Chamberlain's, there's something for everyone. From building supplies for the home renovators to garden essentials for the homemakers. From power tools for the DIY doers to painting supplies for the patio Picassos. We even have coffee for the slightly sleepy and snacks for the young ones. And for the ones who can never quite find what they're looking for, we have you covered too. With our promise to find and source whatever you need. Chamberlain's, famous for hardware since 1903.
If your bank was becoming too expensive, you'd switch, right? So why pay more for car insurance? Switching to Outsurance saved 32-year-old Parushka a whopping 729 Rand on her 2020 Haval H2. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bonani, the team, and the 702 listeners. Okay, for me, I like to go out at night, actually. Yeah. Ever since I quit drinking, my nightlife is just the same. I don't know. But because if I go during the day with the guys, then I end up go back to old habits. But I'm still going nightlife alone, but so I prefer going night. Junior Windsor West.
Bongani, there's no need to sleep at people's houses. If you're working, just book. Unless if you're going to the Bundus, then yeah, maybe. But guys, if you're visiting around town, just book a place and then in the evening just go sleep there. There is no need to sleep in people's houses.
Kamazela wants to know, what's that creature comfort that you take with you when you sleep over at somebody else's home? And he also wanted to know, to dine out early or to dine out later?
Hi, Bonks. Mike here, Norwich Grove. Speaking of Mexico City, the city was built on a lake, a dried up lake. I think it started with the Aztec people who built it on a lake. So they continue building Mexico City on a lake. So that so-called dry river lake or bed suddenly is claiming its own place. The same challenges which is being faced with New Orleans in US, that the Gulf of Mexico is claiming the city bit by bit. It's a sinking city. So it's some of the work for the architects to see what they need to do. Otherwise, it's abandoning the whole cities altogether. Yeah, great show, man. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope to get some more information from Vicky Turner about that. But Mexico City, you're absolutely right, was built on a lake bed foundation. And of course, I mean, what they did is they drained an entire lake, right? And so that means the soil is quite soft. It's spongy clay. There's also, of course, sediment from older volcanoes. And the other thing is that roughly, I think, 70% of the city's water comes from underground aquifers. And of course, as they pump that water to sustain the 22 million people who live there, the layers then compress and harden, and that causes the surface to start collapsing. And then, of course, there's just the sheer weight of the city, the urban infrastructure, and it all adds up to a perfect storm of one of the fastest sinking cities around the world. I think they're saying that something like 25 centimeters it has shrunk by in the last century. Will there be a Mexico City in 100 years? I suppose that's the question, isn't it?
EWN Sport.
All right, we spoke about the English Premiership a little earlier on. Anthony Teixeira, let's talk about our own football. I mean, it couldn't be tighter at the top.
Well, I mean, it could have if Orlando Pirates had won the Soweto Derby. But we don't talk about that, do we, Bongani? We just let it sort of hang there. 1-1.
Who hurt you?
I'm just saying.
Why are you this person?
Because I have a family which is filled with Orlando Pirates supporters.
Hey, listen, I mean, we were near close to losing that derby, so we took what we could in the end.
Yeah, salvage a point. But yeah, a heavy Tuesday awaits us. The Betway Premiership has 4 games. Headliner has to be Orlando Pirates, who will have a chance to cut Mamelodi Sundowns' lead at the top to 2 points as they head out at the Athlone Stadium against Stellenbosch. There's also a relegation 6-pointer when 2 of the 3 bottom sides in the league, Magezi and Orbit City, collide, while we also have Nedbank Cup champions Durban City against Siwalele and Chippa United up against Sekhukhune United. Games will simultaneously kick off at 7:30. 90 minutes later at 9 p.m. we have the second leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-final at the Emirates. Arsenal looking for a return to the competition final for the first time in 20 years. As for Atletico Madrid, it's been 10 years since they featured in the title decider. It's all square from the first leg last week with it 1-1. Here's manager Mikel Arteta.
These are the moments that we want to live together. We had a lot of work as a club, as a team, after 20 years to be in this position again. And we are so hungry to get a game that we want tomorrow and go through to the final.
In results from the Premier League Monday, Man City had their title hopes dented with the spirited Everton performance holding them to a 3-3 draw, while Chelsea keeps slipping further down the table. This time they were beaten by Nottingham Forest 3-1. Londoners interim head coach Callum McFarlane saying that the focus should be on not getting European football, instead turning their performances around like Monday.
It's a ruthless game, it's a really high level. You cannot start games the way we did in the Premier League against a team of Forest's quality. So all we can focus on right now, and all I can focus on right now, is we're in tomorrow, we're training tomorrow, we'll review the game, we'll try and find the reason why and try and make sure that the performance level is of a higher level against Liverpool in 5 days' time. I'm not looking at the bigger picture, the why. It's about right now and attacking the moment right now.
And in cricket, the IPL meeting for the day will see the Delhi Capitals up against the Chennai Super Kings from 4 p.m. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Thank you, Anthony. Let's get straight into our final traffic update for the morning. Amo, it's been a busy one.
Indeed.
Wet roads, traffic lights out, number of crashes.
And roadworks to add to the mix, Bongani. As we speak, roadworks are causing delays along the N3 North between the Airlines Interchange and Van Buren Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N12 West and the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Gilulis Interchange. Heading towards Sandton, do expect delays on the Mark 1 North stop-and-go situation just as you approach Greyston Drive. And then, of course, the M1 South also backed up coming out of the Greyston Drive off-ramp. More updates at the top of the hour. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9. We're speaking to Westgrow. Their senior manager for Edu Invest, Wendy Viljoen, will be in conversation with us. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Reliable water services depend on a sustainable system. When residents pay for municipal services, it enables Johannesburg Water to maintain infrastructure, repair leaks, upgrade networks, and continue delivering essential water and sanitation services to the city. Revenue collected from services is reinvested into operating and strengthening the water system for everyone. By paying for services, residents play an important role in supporting the sustainability of Johannesburg's water supply. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water, a water and sanitation utility that cares.
In unpredictable times, you need a proven approach. Try this. Think of a number between 1 and 10. Add 6. Subtract 3. Now subtract your original number. Got 3? Of course you did, because the method is certain. That's predictability. It's consistent, reassuring. It's our disciplined approach delivering real value for you year after year. That's why PSG is proudly predictable. Visit psg.co.za. Affiliates of PSG Financial Services, a licensed controlling company, are authorized financial services providers.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Hey, Bongs. Funny story from me, Johannesburg. So I'm a single guy, but I was seeing a lady at some point and caught the biggest fright of my life. In the evening, I woke up and I saw someone next to me, and I punched her in the back. Unfortunately, I didn't come back from that one.
Shame. He was so he wasn't used to sleeping over, quite clearly. Wakes up in a strange home. His conscious mind knows why he's there, but as he wakes up from a dream, he thinks, "Oh, where am I? Who's this?" Never to be invited again.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
All right, Clement Manyatela Show coming to you outside of the studio today. So they're going to be talking to the CEO of Stadium Management South Africa at 10 o'clock. And then the world of work, snakes in suits. They're going to be speaking to Dr. Lizelle Grobler, who is a behavioral profiler and deception detection specialist. There is, in fact, a book about this, Snakes in Suits, and it's all to do with psychopathy and narcissists, and it's a really, really ugly world. And sometimes corporates are the ones who allow these people to thrive. And then I'll speak to Dr. Michael Moore on why sleep matters, particularly for moms.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
The Midday Report at its heart is a current affairs show, but it really is a show about everything you need to know about and everything you didn't know you needed to know about. Our listener is sharp, plugged in, curious, has developed opinions, but is still open to learning new things. My favorite part is how witty, sharp, and funny our listener is. What we cover every day is breaking news, current affairs, politics, the courts, global developments, science, education, popular culture, sports, books, and of course, good things too. I like to think of it as a lunchbox with a little bit of everything. What I love about 702 Land is that it is full of energy. There's always something happening, a developing story to follow. But it's not parochial. The 702 family cares about what is happening in the world around them and how we plug into that.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener. Weekdays from 12 to 1 p.m.
Work isn't just about what you do, it's about who you're doing it with. Choose a workday experience that sets you up for collaboration, community, and rocket fuel energy with WeWork. 24/7 access to open plan structures, stylish private offices, and a fully integrated co-working community. Unique workspaces designed for real people with real workdays. Book a free guided tour at WeWork Rosebank, Sandton, or Cape Town. WeWork.co.za. Made for work, built for business.
Switching to Outsurance Business Insurance was a quick process. I saved a lot of money.
Outsurance Business Insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium when you switch? For boutique hotels, catering companies, and all other businesses. Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Regular ipsina, kasjuza di tamati. Regular ipsina. Kasjuza di tamati, kasjuza di di tamati, kasjuza di di tamati. Regular ipsina, kasjuza di tamati. Regular ipsina, kasjuza.
Oh man, it's all happening on the 23rd of May. One of Johannesburg's most iconic music gatherings returns. Baseline Fest, Say Africa, marking 20 years of celebrating African talent. It's happening at Constitutional Hill, People's Park. This is a space deeply tied to our history. Now hosting, I suppose, a new generation and different expression through music and culture. Headlining this year, Vusi Mahlasela alongside Amifaku and Malay. Organizers saying this is more than just a concert. It's about legacy, discovery, momentum. Established stars sharing the stage with emerging talent. Doors will open at midday. The show wraps up at 8 p.m. and the tickets are only going for 300 Rand. Importantly, it comes just a day after Vusi Mahlasela releases new music, signaling what many are calling a creative resurgence. He joins us now on the line. Bravusi, always a pleasure to talk to you. A very good morning to you. Thank you for your time.
A very good morning to you, Bongani. Thank you.
I recently saw you as part of the Hugh Masekela tribute show at the Joburg Theatre. Your energy, your ability to work the crowd is as mesmerizing as ever.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Talk to me about headlining this festival celebrating 20 years as you release new music, of course.
Yeah, I think it is a great thing that, we taking, African music to a different height. And then also the festival will mark that, Say Africa. You remember in one of my songs, when you come back, I said, and I'll be the one who will climb up the mountain, reaching up the top of the Africa days. This is at the Africa Days that we are now coming up, climbing up to. So, to preach the African evangelism through song and music.
You'll be beating the drums, hey? When we come back home?
Yes. Yeah, and ringing the bells.
And ringing the bells. I mean, of course, this is all to do with Africa Day, which is on the 25th of May every year. How important is it that we have these moments of celebration around our common Africanness?
It is very much important that we have this celebration just to remind ourselves who we are, and that we should also be proud of ourselves, to be able to visit the innermost of ourselves, as I've did, to remind ourselves who we are, and then also why are we here. But I think through the subject matters that we'll be sort of singing about, or the songs, that will bring much more of that, and then also giving hope, to people.
Talk to me about making music, new music, at this stage of your career.
It's something which is sort of like really in my DNA. So music comes all the time, and but you don't make music like you're making fat cakes, There's only our allowance of some sort whereby songs comes and sometimes you forgot that I've dreamt about this tune, whatever, and then you get angry because you've forgotten about it. But if it keeps coming back, that's the right thing. But also, I think it's also important that that music that you are having will sort of like resonate with the people, especially with the subject matters that you're singing about. So able to teach and to give innovation, to inspire people, and also to give hope.
There's talk about renewed energy, certainly, but maybe even a revival of your career at this phase, at this stage. How does that make you feel?
I sometimes need to wonder that am I doing right thing, but also I now understood and I understand that at this present moment where I am, it is where I'm supposed to be, because it was not an accident, because this was more of a calling, for me.
Yeah.
Other people will talk more about calling, whatever. It comes in different ways. But I was reminded that, these works that we're doing, the songs, the music, whatever, we have given you this so that you should be ministering, through song and music. Yeah, so it was more of a calling that I now understand I'm perfectly right into the center, into the right place right now about this.
Your new track is called Peace to the World. I mean, that's a perfect title for a song I think everybody needs right now.
Yes, of course, which is what is happening right now, with the conflicts that we're seeing, whatever. There is nowhere in the world where no one doesn't want peace. Everybody wants peace. If you don't want that, then something is messed up, with you.
Yeah.
So peace is very much important. With these conflicts that we're seeing and all that and whatever, it is not good. We have to really pray harder, for peace.
I mean, just talk to me in terms of what can we anticipate from the new work, from the new music, and how are you keeping your energy? I was talking in my introduction about how I saw you recently. I mean, you had that theater which was packed to the rafters, dancing, people were ululating, people were flating. It was just absolutely amazing. How are you keeping your energy up?
Man, I think there was some kind of a Holy Spirit there. I don't know. But, yes, you saw that there was a chair on stage. That I came in, I said, and before, and then something just told me to stand
up and go.
Because the brass was playing and everything, so the music was... So I had to do something. I cannot just wait until where I have to sing my part. So as a singer, you're also a dancer. You have to entertain and all that. So, and I think all of that, emotionally, they came.
Yeah.
And people really just was eating the palm, and they were really happy. And that rejuvenated my flying spirit.
Listen, I was sitting in the same row as a former president, and I can tell you he had a good time. Thank you so much for the music and the entertainment and what you have meant to South Africans and Africans indeed throughout your career. Pravusi Mahlasela, Saturday the 23rd of May, performing at Constitution Hill Square. Gates will open at 12, performances between 1 and 8 p.m. You can look forward to others like Male, Amifaku, and of course Pravusi Mahlasela. It's called Say Africa, 23rd of May, celebrating Africa Day.
Who died in maintaining his light. He's really been so strong and musically inclined. His sad melodies coming out like a smoke from the woody fire, confessing who died last night, who died this morning, and why. One dangerous mind for million graves. Look down into the grave and do not weep. Skeleton confessing the loss of music, culture and beliefs. Skeleton confessing the age of lamentations, the age of broken minds and souls. Picked up the soil from this unknown grave and blew it up with the wind as to make reference one day, and I sang, my boo, yeah, Africa, sing now, Africa, sing loud, sing to the people, let them give us something to the world. And not just to take it from it. And will it ring the bells when you come in? Will it beat the drums when you come in? Will it ring the bells when you come in? Will it beat the drums when you come in? Our lost African music will turn into the music.
It's going to be so much fun. I bet you he's going to include this on his set. He has to. He absolutely has to include when you come back. Ringing the bells, beating the drums. On that note, we will see you tomorrow on a Wednesday. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now. It is 9 o'clock. Sing, sing! Sing, sing!
This is EWN.
I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Constitutional Court will this morning hear two applications by the Board of Healthcare Funders and the Western Cape Government seeking to have the National Health Insurance Act declared unlawful. The applicants are arguing that both Houses of Parliament failed to comply with the constitutional requirements for the meaningful public participation before passing the NHI bill. President Cyril Ramaphosa signed the bill into law in 2024.